Lone Syndicate said, "What's up, Green?"
Oh, what's up, buddy? Oh, I am doing pretty good. How about you, man? Hopefully good. I still, man, it's just like, it's fun. I think it's just that I spend the whole day like silent, just completely not saying a word. And finally I hit stream and my vocal cords have to wake up and I'm like, no, I got phlegm in my throat. It also probably is, I don't normally have that, so it's probably is sickness nonsense still irking inside my damn body like a parasite. But hey, dude, the amount of content creators I've seen that like over the course of this last week that were also dropping like flies is crazy. Everyone was sick. I don't think everyone was sick for a week, man. Like me and still kind of sick. Damn it. But boo-hoo me, woe is me, all that, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? How was your week? By God! Hopefully you got
Lone
a ton
Syndicate
of shit
said
to
you
do.
back at 100% Grin, we celebrate, and I'm doing good.
I'd say I'm about 90%, but then I still have this, like, you know, like, it sounds weird, but, like, you know when you go, like, there's some sort of, like, I'm not sure if it's, like, phlegm or whatever, but it's, like, this little vocal thing that's, like, every time I speak, and I'm like, which makes me want to kind of go, but there's nothing there. It's just dry, right? But I am good enough to function and not feel like my brain is tired and all that stuff, you know? Also, what a little tease this game is. Them showing us well, this is a bad moment to say tease, but point is, it looks really cool. It looks really good. Ooh. But, yeah, man. On this...
Gnawing Fetus said, Grin, you may be a bit young to know this, but do you remember a PS1 game called Legend of the Dragoon?
I'm a bit more
Lone
visual
Syndicate
person.
said,
Let me
well,
look this up.
besides the fact that I'm hungry, currently waiting for food.
Ooh, what you gonna eat? What you eating? Legend of the Dragoon. What is this all about? Let me see. Ooh, is this around like the Zelda era? It's not that I was too young to experience this. I might have been. But it also might... No, I might have been too young to experience this. It also could have just been that, like, my... dude, it's so weird to describe, like, my upbringing with video games. Where, like, I played, like, the first Street Fighter. Not Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat. Where it was, like, just, like, pixel, like, images of people doing this. And shit. The reason why is because I went to my grandparents' house and I played my dad's generations of games. So I got like the oldest old, but then I kind of skipped the Zelda era a little bit. I played Ratchet and Clank a little bit. Like there were some games I got through, but then I kind of stopped. And then right around like the Fallout 3 New Vegas-y, that's when I started to cook again. So like I have a big gap there, mostly because I was just like running around cul-de-sacs with my friends doing shit. I would say getting up to mischief, but that was never my thing. I just kind of, I was never into that too much, but yeah. Where's my chat at? I clicked off it and it got weird. There we go. Chicken tendies and fries. Man, I like chicken strips, but people like chicken nuggets, and I feel like it's people who grew up on McDonald's, which I was always an A&W kid. No. I was always an A&W kid, more or less. Good old chicken burger ever since I was young. But yeah, there's chicken tendies. I have them, and it does, for me as a person who's like never really was a big contender for these kind of
Lone
things.
Syndicate said, I haven't seen the
Oh, you haven't?
GTA 6 trailer.
You should watch it, man. It's pretty good. This is kind of why I have it up here, is because I kind of wanted to mention it. But yes, also, what is this? A weirdo bot that we've never seen. Goodbye forever ban. What if that is not an actual bannable offense, but it just quick trigger finger. Anyways, but what do you call it? It's weird that it doesn't replace. It might have. Did it delete his message? It should have. It should do that. If it does do that, then what the f? But outside of that, ew, this is a really weird interface. I don't know why it's done that, but anyways, whatever. About GTA 6, man. This to me, like, how do I put this?
Gnawing Fetus said yeah. Well, the mechanics of Legend of the Dragoon is, or was, emo, one of the best in turn-based RPGs. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 has finally improved on those combat mechanics.
25 years
like
later?
25 years later.
Wow. 25 years later is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I've heard nothing but people saying, like, singing the praises, saying that's game of the year, all this stuff. Honestly, man, it's one of the, like, at least that makes more sense to me. You know, like last year I felt like I was the most drinking crazy pills where, like, again, my argument is that there should be some barometer for, like, people should have played this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anyone who defines himself as, like, a, what is it called? Like the platformer, tiny little robot jumping around third person. And if it is, it can't be more than like 1% or 2% of the population of people who play video games. So for you to be like, this is the game of the year, it's like, okay. Whereas if game of the year happened to go to Expedition 1, at least I can understand it. Like, at least I can see it and I'm like, this makes sense. I think people who like turn-based is actually not just like 1%, but a fucking giant part of the ecosystem of gaming. And also it sincerely looks like it's done stuff to like iterate upon the system itself, you know, which is, it looks great. I'm still not a turn-based guy. I see it, but there's also so much to play right now that I don't have to try anything new. I don't have to go to my it's like the curse of having an abundance, where you don't really need much. But anyways, that's awesome, by the way. Are you enjoying the share of it, Nong, I assume? I assume you're getting after it and playing it. That's good to hear. But I was going to say, for GTA, I had this thing for a while there where, like, we keep being shown like these games, and whether it's like RPGs or whether it's whatever, and it's happened for like the last 10 years. And the one thing that I have always disliked a lot is when people like force me, like an RPG is supposed to be a role-playing experience, you know what I mean? I feel like RPGs have kind of just went the other way in the last like couple decades with like, even if you think about like Fallout 4, where like you still play as a guy who feels like he's just a person, like you can only like push him in certain ways, kind of, and even then it feels pretty stark and weird. But then comes GTA Online, and I always thought that was like how I feel, or not GTA Online, this comes GTA 6. I always felt like, I just don't like when people tell me what to play. I think it's actually make me want to play whatever you're trying to sell a little bit. Because, like, when I'm watching the GTA 6 trailer, I remember I watched the first GTA 5 trailer, and this time I never really told people, but I was like, man, I don't love the fucking characters I gotta play. I play, like, a coke addict freak, I play a guy who's a middle-aged psycho, and I play the guy who I like the most, which is Jacob, I think, or, not Jacob, I can't think of his name, but he was the guy who drove cars and shit, great, black guy, great. I played him a lot. But, this is the first time where I'm like, dude, the girl looks fucking awesome. Great design, beautiful, none of this weird fucking nonsense shit that we've been having these last couple years where they're like, the main characters have to be hideous. They're supposed to connect with our player base, which we think are ugly as shit. And you're like, man, I want to vicariously live through not my own experience, but through another's.
Lone Syndicate said Franklin.
Yeah, Franklin, that's right, Franklin, that was what his name, Franklin. But yeah, also the dude looks fucking awesome. Dude is fucking jacked as shit, kind of a slouch. But dude, I am thrilled. Also, it does look like, guys, I don't know if this is like, as a Canadian who has like really hot summers and really cold winters, why is everybody fucking sweaty AF in this trailer? Is that just Florida business? Where like you are in a state of greased, moist, and stinking? Because Jesus, this whole trailer, the whole time I was seeing them, like everyone looks like they smell disgusting. Like they're fighting for their life and deodorant doesn't exist. All that. I suppose it's Shadow. Shadow says, do you still play Let Die? No, I played for 3 years because I played a share of it. They never updated the game. I walked away. Then they came back because their previous entry didn't do really well. And now they're updating it kind of, but now they've kind of stopped doing that as well. And now they're going, no. I played for like 3 years when there was no content. I played for 2 years. I played for three years, and then I played for another 2 years while there was no content. And I just tried to riff for a 2-year state. And I did a good damn job because beautiful people like you keep showing up and saying hi. But no, my friend, I do not. I probably should find another game that was in a similar state of like no one covering it, but very cool.
Lone
kind of never
Syndicate
meant to be
said,
popping
question,
off,
what
though.
did Tiffany Ware do to get BN?
Question, what did Tiffany Ware do to get BN? What do you mean? What do you mean, Lone? Question, what did Tiffany Ware do to get BN? What did Tiffany do to get banned? Tiffany came in and said...
Annoying Fetus said that's Florida. Think 95% plus humidity 24/7. That's like a 30% temp modifier. Probably like going from 25C to 33C.
Oh, I gotcha. So it's I've been in places that are hot, like Portugal's hot, but it's kind of like a drier heat. But we went to I think it was Rome or Italy or one of those places, and yeah, it's disgusting. Like if you don't put, you have to put like a fucking saran wrap like type of like plastic cover over your bed or a bed, or else like by the time you get into it, it'll be like moist, like sticky almost. And I'm like, that's fucking awful. That sounds horrible. But yeah. But what Tiffany did or whatever, she said Tiffany Homan this 453 studs RD Butler PA, and then it gave a code loan. So it sounded like it's like a bot. It was just basically bot behavior or a self-promotion. Yeah, Tiffany wears comb. Yeah, what do you think she is? You don't think that's a bot in a 10-mile radius? I never even read the name. These bots be wildin'. Also, yeah, I'm not sure if it's just me, but like the bot game, I don't even understand it because they do this weird obscure shit where they're like something code. What the fuck? What are you supposed to do with the code? Like, what is it? Is it like an IP address? I have no idea. It's like, what are they like? Who you're fishing, but who are you fishing for? Like, are you fishing for a coder who's like, I know what to do with this code? Makes it insane. Anyways, Shadow says, well. Just got a jackal sword, nice, and searched for your videos to learn more about. Thanks, man. Yeah, man. I did my best to cover that game, but the more I always think about it, the more I think, damn, what a bad decision for me. Good in the decision that a lot of people seem to get some value out of that. Bad in the decision that, like, man, God, like in order to get like the highest level of Jackal gear, you have to like go fucking up to the Tengeku, spend so much time grinding levels you've already grinded like to death, and they just trying to break you at that point. They're like doing everything they can to throw like the most dumb broken things in the thing. Again, in my opinion, it was always to incentivize more stew, because that was the thing that they kept updating every single fucking patch. Even when there was like for a year they were like, guess what, there's more decals in the stew, which just fucking inflates your ability to get anything. Anyways, yeah, I was not the guy that should have been given the baton, but I did my best for what I was willing to do. But to fucking grind, like some people, yeah. I knew some people in that die community who were like, you know, people who talked to me a bunch, who had like 10k hours in the game. I'm like, buddy, you should just make videos of it. I have no interest in going like grinding to that extent. That's like a wild one, you know what I mean? Lone says, lol, I did read the name in full. You did read the name in full either? Damn. Or you didn't read the name in full. I didn't read the name either when you said that. I was like, oh, yeah. The stains part is just vile. That's rough. That's actually, we don't get too many YouTube bots. We've had tons on Twitch, but it's like our first YouTube bot in a while. We used to get him a lot, I think, when we played Genshin, because he's just like, I guess that's behavior of like, yeah, people who are spending money on gacha are, yeah. I just don't get as much as we should, probably, because we still play Withering Waves, which is still gacha. I just don't think anything was quite like Genshin. Genshin had like crazy appeal. Nog says, Shadow has a bunch of videos about it that are still relevant based on amount of traffic he gets from it, but hasn't touched. Yes, this is a great way to put it. Yes, man. Dude, I don't want to get into too much of this because I would like to react to some stuff with you guys, but man, especially like reading, like doing so much gosh
Lone
darn
Syndicate
research.
Said haven't gotten a bot on YouTube since we stopped playing.
Yeah,
Genshin.
yeah. It's been a high. We get like maybe one like every now and again, or if it is, it's like a complex bot where it's like, it's clearly like an AI listening to the audio as it's being said, because like when you try to say like what's on the screen, they don't show. Some of them were on YouTube, I think. That's what I was gonna say. Learning so much about like the entrepreneur stuff and the business stuff and all the weird like nuancey things about that, or like just what like how like what like I'm not sure if you guys ever thought about this, but what is valuable to you, and like how do you equate something's value? Like, how would you determine, like, this is something that is going to be successful or people are going to want or blah, 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 blah. And it's funny because they have, the book I'm reading quite a lot goes through this kind of idea. where it's called like the value equation, which is, if I'm remembering it correctly, it's is the thing able to project your dream outcome? The second thing is what is it called? Perceived likelihood of achievement. That's what it is. So it's like, is someone able to tell you, give you something that you actually want? Like, hey, I'm gonna give you a game that is an RPG that has tons of hours of content. It's beautiful and all that stuff. And you're like, that sounds great to me. That's the game that I want. But then if it was some sort of like, Chinese studio that, you never heard about, yada, 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 your perceived likelihood of achievement of they're going to be actually able to deliver is tainted. And you're like, nope. Another thing, and this is what a lot of people kind of got on Marathon for, which is the bottom side of the equation, is time delay and effort and sacrifice. So specifically with a game called Marathon, I think that game would have done really well if it came out right at the height of like Tarkov and stuff like that. But because it took such a long time to make, by the time it came out, or time it's coming out, people are kind of like, So like the delay of you actually receiving the thing that was your dream outcome is so delayed that it's not really valuable anymore. And then the same thing is effort and sacrifice. This is kind of more relevant when you talk about like exercise. Someone's trying to sell you like a program or some shit. That's like why like liposuction could be like 20 grand, and then like a program for exercise maybe at best could be like 1,000 if you're like really stacking a shit ton of stuff on it. Yada yada yada. But it's a neat way to think about things, and it's funny because like I think about Let It Die, and I think about like, yeah, I was able to like I think that the thing I introed my like Let's Play with it was like, I'm going to make it to the top of the Tower of Barbs without spending any money in this game, and then at the very end I'll spend some money in the game because I quite like it, and we did that. But I think like that was like a dream outcome of people being like, okay, you're actually gonna finish, like you're like, this is a Let's Play that you're gonna like see through. And you're going to make it to the top, which is like a dream outcome that I think people who are watching would actually be interested in. And then the, I always forget that, perceived likelihood of achievement, I think actually work because you could easily just check, like, if the playlist is 100 fucking parts or whatever, or you can see the end, so you can see if I made it, so I'm going to be able to achieve it. Also, I'm kind of talking my ass off to, like, verify, like, I know what's happening in each situation. Anyways. And then time delay, I got done pretty quick. I think it was like not the longest playthrough. Like I think it could have been longer if I showed you everything, but I cut out a lot of shit that didn't matter. And then the last little bit is also it's funny because like effort and sacrifice I think is the main pillar. Where like the game was built on the back of like it's gonna suck and it's gonna be painful. So unless you were an idiot, you're probably looking at information that made it less shit, less sacrifice, less painful. And that was what the kind of my videos were. So it kind of makes sense when I look back and I use that same framework to kind of judge what videos popped and what ones didn't, and it always lines up with like, oh yeah, it had like 3 of those things going up, and yeah, the idea being that like dream outcome, perceived likelihood of achievement is like the dividing thing. You want to buff up those as much as possible. If you can kind of reassure people and that, then you're good. And then the bottom half is time delay and effort and sacrifice. So if you can lower the cost for those people, the time it takes to fulfill, and then the what you have to do to actually receive it, then that will make something even more valuable to you. Fun stuff like that I think is neat. But anyways, it's funny that like the more I learn about other stuff, the more I keep relating it to YouTube. I guess it's just because it's what I have the most experience with, unfortunately, Ooh, Shadow says, but the chemical oil you need is like 20 and yeah, man, yes, yeah, it's a joke. It's like it is. It's funny because I like that. That's one of the things I liked about Let It Die was like the idea that you like, here's your armor set, here's your weapon.
Syndicate said I saw a post a while back on how the PS2 had 3 GTA game released on it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, GTA 5 lasted for 3 PlayStation.
Yeah, but I also thought that like the online mode did that, And it's funny because like I think like I don't want to shit on Rockstar really because they're doing really good, but I think the Red Dead Redemption Online was a pretty big flop. Like it just did not catch like they were doing. They also didn't do like, it's weird. I always find like the idea of human beings, I think, is that, oh, you won't make these mistakes again. Not realizing that like the idea of creation means you have to create something from the ground up, and you hope that like, yeah, you're going to take all the things you learned and not make those same mistakes, but that would mean as soon as you're done making what you made, the entire team that that just made it would then have to move on to the other thing. But that would mean that it would take like an extra 5 or 6 years, whatever, development, and then they'd be able to not make all those mistakes. Whereas that's not how it works. They have a team working on this game, and they have another team working on this game, so that they can kind of like intersect halfway through. And it's just bound to make the same mistakes as a thing. Because if you look at Red Dead Redemption, all of the same mistakes that like online Red Dead Redemption made was the beginner mistakes that GTA Online made. So it's like, why did you have to make these again? Same thing with Destiny. What the fuck, you know? But it's because it's different teams. But yeah, man, it's one of those things that I think people should have said more, which I was thinking. But like, I don't think we've had a GTA that wasn't delayed for like ever. I don't know if there's ever been a GTA that's like, this is the release date, boom. And if it is, it's one of those ones that like we're coming out on like as a yearly cycle, which didn't really work. It didn't seem like I think we had a period where it was like Vice City, or not Vice City. It was what it was. They like used the same map essentially. We also had ones that were like kind of like we had Shadows of the not Shadows of the Damned. What the fuck is it called? Like the biker gang. We had the Ballad of Gay Tony, and then we had like one more. And dude, they fucking butchered the biker gang one, where like you're this badass biker, and then he just cuts to fucking GTA 5 or whatever, and he's just coked out in a fucking thing watching his girlfriend get plowed. It's just like, oh, that main protagonist got such a bad rap. Rockstar has no chill for these games. Granted, him being a heroin addict, not the biggest stretch you could possibly see. But gang, are you ready for Doom? I always forget Dark Age. I always forget the subtext of it. But dude, I almost don't want to watch this in the background. In fact, I'm not going to be looking. I'm kind of looking at it. Man, I'm excited. I'm also. It's a slightly different gameplay loop, it seems like. And I hope I like it. It's different, and I wonder if that will make it slightly less extremely fire. Also, I wonder if this is like easy mode, because it does seem like things are moving slow. Maybe it's so they can get the nice shots, possibly. It does look like we're also playing a beat game with all the weird color variation, I mean?
Gnawing Fetus said, I'm eating good on Game Pass this month. That much is for sure.
Yeah, man, this is the first game that I don't think I'll actually buy. I'll just get a Game Pass day one buy, because there's no real reason to, I don't think. Like, might as well take the deal when you can get it. I think it's like $14 probably for Canadian. Instead of, when it's probably, I think it's a full price game, so I think it's going to be like $80 for me or $100 for me, which just sucks. But with Game Pass being $15, and I'm gonna probably try to beat it in a month, if not a week or some shit. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal or thing that we're gonna do. The only reason why I bought Oblivion is because I plan on modding it. I don't know. I've always feel like that's a pretty, like, I don't know. It's like a value judgment of like, this is a one shot. I'm gonna play it all the way through and be good and then be done. I haven't went back and played the other Dooms unless I haven't went back and played them. So this one, it's like any game that's like a one and done story game, like an Uncharted or something like that, I find the Game Pass model is perfect. But if there was like a single player game that had like a fuck ton of mod support or like just a big old RPG.
Lone Syndicate said, I'm so hyped for Doom.
You're so hyped for Doom? Yeah, man. What do you go? Well, for 1 second, real quick, let's just unmute it. Yeah. This is weird. This is not, again, I feel like sometimes like game devs don't know their audience, because like I don't think that's what people want to see who are fans of the game. People want to see those like speedruns of somebody playing at like the highest possible fucking like gauge imaginable. Just non-stop jumping around, teleporting, like running into damage to like throw it back at enemies. And instead we have like this very slow pace. Let me use this one ability. And now let me slow down, get an action shot, and use this ability. Ooh, let me get those headshots and not just dump a chain gun into this thing's face to kill it as fast as humanly possible without a single shred of fear. That's what we want, I think. Perhaps it's just me, but I think that's the vibe across the board. But yes, that's what we're gonna be doing, by the way, next Thursday. We're gonna be probably streaming Thursday, and then depending, we might try something a little different. For the Doom stream thing. I think we might play it until it is done, with the cap of being a week.
Gnawing Fetus said, Oblivion is worth buying,
yes,
even if you only play it once through in a month. Doom, you'll probably get 1 hour per dollar of Game Pass of playtime.
Yes.
VS Oblivion, where you already have 2 hours per dollar.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Lone Syndicate said, I really
Also,
need to go back and play the DLC for the other Doom games one day.
Yeah, man, those are like sneaky, like super important ones, where like they snuck in like tons of badass lore, but it was kind of just the same gameplay loop with more intensity, which is cool. But like, yeah, The fact that, like, I don't think many people, like, I skipped it, and then I was like, oh, and then we got to, like, the last DLC, and then they dropped, like, fucking bombs about, like, the lore of the game, and we're like, Jesus. But it made me laugh, because I remember way back in the day, there was this, I used to watch this channel a lot called Funhouse, and there was a guy named Spool on it, who had, like, this mantra of, like, game per dollar. So, like, the idea being, it's funny, because, like, everyone is bragging on him for it. About being like, yeah, this is stupid, like, you know, like, what about Uncharted? Uncharted's like, what about Last of Us? These are, like, works of art. And the more I look back, Spool was right. Honestly, game for dollar is a pretty good vibe. Maybe it's because, like, things are getting so ungodly expensive. I don't know if you guys experience it too much, because you guys are, like, Canadian dollars, you're top dogs. As a Canadian citizen, holy fuck. The difference between 60, it's like, I guess it's like your fucking... What's it called? Your, like, economic bracket, whatever you're at. Like, some people are like $100 on a video game that I spend hours in, done. To me, I'm like, $100? $100 is nothing, man. $100 is not nothing. That's a bunch of groceries right there. What are we talking about? So, yeah, I kind of resonate, especially, maybe it's just, I think it's just because we're in this era of, like, not only does it feel like everything is more money, but now it also feels like there's so many devs or like big teams like EA and stuff like that are just so off when it comes to like delivering and satisfying what we actually want. And it's so nice. Okay, this is awesome. I didn't recognize that with this. Can you swing that shit around? It looks like it. Can you do like little swaps? It looks like it stays there for a split second. I wonder if you could like jostle your mouse around and like flap it around. That'd be pretty sick. But yeah, I wonder if, that's why I'm so excited to see Oblivion and that 13 game, or 23, whatever it is, I think it's 13, a turn-based game that's out right now, Expedition 13 or 15, whatever it is, yeah, that one. I'm so happy to see, like, it's such a good analogy for, like, hey, this is Oblivion, and this is what we used to have. This is, like, the level of detail. This is, like, crazy, like, systems. And then here's also, like,
Lone
iterating
Syndicate
upon an old
said
system
a
is really
literal
good.
chain gun.
A literal... I didn't even... I didn't even think... That's brutal. I hate that went right over my head. A literal chain gun. Although, can we... Well, we have a bone gun as well, which I think is taking the place of kind of a chain gun. But yes. Boy, howdy. Why don't we just add a little bit of audio? Just to kind of give it some sauce. The shield, I feel like... Well, I don't know. No, what do you think? Are you going to be... Also not. Are you going to be better with this combat, you think, or less? So like the previous Doom game, I felt like it was more like ADHD zoomery nonsense of just keep moving. Keep those legs cooking. You'll stay alive. Dash around. Shoot. Switch weapons on... I honestly thought you switch weapons too often in the previous game. I thought it was like kind of annoying where like... you the minute you're starting to have fun with a weapon, it was like, you're out of ammo. But in this game, it seems to be much more like slower paced and like a timing based, like rhythm almost. And I hope me playing it on normal will not make the timing brutal, you know? Also, I didn't know we got gameplay of this. I will say, there's a lot of HUD nonsense I'm not in love with. Like, I don't love that giant-ass circle on his stomach, so I can't see his body being broken apart. I know you can probably turn it off, but I wish you could just make it smaller. Maybe it's because people are blind. I don't know, like, people need big, like, boomers need giant things on screen. So, like, yeah, but, like, give us the option of tiny objective HUD markers. Like, why does it need to be like that? You could be a tiny guy, and you could still see it slowly recover. Anyways, I'm a little nitpicky, but...
Ignoring Fetus said the shield is off. On PC, I'd be better on older Doom games. On console, I'd like the new Doom better.
Yeah, a little bit slower pace. Yeah, I kind of... Oh, on PC, because you can, like, flick around with your... Yeah, I don't know. I've played a lot of the PC things at this point. I've like, we played the finals, I believe, with PC controls and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, like, I guess I just, like,
Lone Syndicate said I hated in Doom Eternal that they made weapons share ammo and you often ran out a lot.
Yeah. Did they share ammo, or I thought there was like you only were able to get the other ammo if you were using another gun. So like you had to get kills with a different weapon to get the ammo for the other weapon, which I thought was bullshit. I thought that was like, I mean, I get the idea, but like it should have been not tuned that severely, because like you would shoot for like a handful of times and then be done. With exceptions of like the guns that were like the least weighty, like there was like that little electric like little tiny zapper. That one had a fuck ton of bullets and it took a long time to deplete. But it was like one of the least satisfying weapons I think to use, you know. Also, my God, dude, look at how fucking, oh my God. I wish my voice was fixed so I could just, I feel like I can't speak normally like I normally do. I have to talk normally or else it starts to, wreck my throat. But anyways, what is going to be in the pod? A sword? Ooh, a giant, oh my god, is it double barrel shotgun?
On PC I'm a flicker shot cracked out on Nazi meth. On console I'm more of a recon playstyle.
Oh. Yeah, are you sitting down and whatnot? I'm a flicker shot cracked out on my guy. Flick shot, cracked out on meth, zooming around. It's kind of funny. They give you like this badass chain gun, and then it's still like you're still chopping down a tree.
Lone Syndicate said example, the combat and super shots shared ammo, or the BFG and another weapon shared ammo.
Oh, okay, for like the big heavy weapons. I see. Yeah, also, well, Doom's in a weird place where like there's just no one coming for Doom's lunch. Like I think like Rage tried to do some weird shit where they tried to kind of be somewhat similar. But ever since Doom Eternal, I think like no one has like found like they found such a nice sweet spot with the gameplay that I don't think like we've ever gotten. There's not another game to it. But like the idea that popped into my head just when you were saying that, Lone, is like, well, what would you want from Doom then? Like, would you want like a Doom RPG where like you play a random guy that like is going to basically be the successor to Doom, or going to be the guy that like resurrects him or some shit? I don't know, because that's how the game like DLC's kind of ended. Is like once again Doom is locked away. Yada yada yada. So like, are we just gonna play Doom again, or are we gonna like have some sort of cool RPG to it? It's weird because like I say that and I'm like I'm not dissatisfied with the state of Doom right now. Like there are some games where like I haven't really like locked in for quite a while. Like for instance, Assassin's Creed. Like I have not gelled with the new formula as much. I've given it a try. It's not. I don't hate it. I just don't prefer it. So I wouldn't mind them trying something new. But with Doom, I still feel like I'm pretty content. I don't like need them to change shit. I feel like if I had 2 more games of just this, I'd be like, okay, we could try new things. We could start trying like a Doom RPG game. Why not? But I haven't tired of the Slayer. They also, I think this is one of the few games where they know id knows just like the right amount of like, yeah, we'll let it sit for 5 years, something like that. And you're like, okay, that's enough time for me to want it, like want more, So I think that's like half of the battle with like making anything. It's also a fucking thing I'm learning about business a little bit right now as well, which is the idea of like, you don't want to like over deliver your products in a lot of ways, because then it's too abundant in a weird way. Like this is the idea of like scarcity and like FOMO. But like if you overindulge, like if you could eat nothing but cookies for your whole life, eventually you probably get sick of cookies. So the idea is like, what if you only had like 1 cookie every year? How much would you value like that experience? How fucking good that would be. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited. That's what we're gonna be playing hopefully on Thursday, unless it gets delayed. I thought I would hear more shit about the game. Like I think it's been pretty quiet. Like I thought we'd see like a launch trailer. Maybe we'll see it this weekend. But I haven't heard nothing about it. So hopefully it's not gonna be like soft delayed. I don't know. But yes, maybe I know they give early access to some
said, I think Doom is one of those games where I'm okay with how it. Plus, this game are normally one-off story games that after I beat I won't play again, and they come out not often.
Yeah. So I think it's found like that right pacing, that sweet spot of like, okay, I'm ready for it again. Yeah, and I think maybe that was the reason why. I mean, yeah, it's weird. And I also feel like there's such a opening for like to give you what you want, but in the wrong way. So like I just mentioned how it would be cool to have like a Doom game that also had like RPG elements, because I just like RPGs a lot. But then if you look at Rage, it kind of did that where like it had like, but it didn't do it in the right way at all. Like I didn't want it. Like it's like, yeah, it's like a devil's deal, like the Monkey Pearl Curls, where like, oh, I'll give you what you want in the worst way possible. And it sucks because like Rage was one of the games I actually loved. Man, I don't know if it's just me, but I still like fucking adore the original Rage. And so many people hated it, but also so many people loved it. It was just one of those things where like, damn it, man. I don't know. I know it's like probably like it would have never happened anyway. Like if they didn't try to like make it marketable or some shit by adding like the Doom aesthetic. But I loved the aesthetic of Rage. I don't know, man. I always thought that game was like heavily underdone. I also thought it sold decently well over its lifetime. Yeah.
Lone Syndicate said, I will say watching someone play Doom at a high level is super
so
satisfying.
Amen. Also, damn. Yes. Alrighty. We have some options. We also have this trailer that came out today. Wanted to ask you guys what your thoughts are about it. Thoughts on Mafia. this is one of those series where I played the original Mafia 2, locked the fuck in, enjoyed it. Definitely a slower, longer game, but, you know, it is what it is. And then I played the Franklin one, which was pretty cool. I didn't hate it, never finished it. I honestly played like 2 hours of it and then just stopped. And I was like, I enjoy this, but it just didn't hook me. So then I stopped as well. And then when I see this gameplay, I'm both like, it looks interesting, but at the same time, it also looked like when he's shooting the revolver, it looks very slow and like, how do I put this properly?
Lone Syndicate said, oh yeah, I forgot about Mafia is releasing this
Yes,
summer.
in the summer. That's summer? Yeah, how do I describe this properly? I'm trying to find out how I should express this.
Gnawing Fetus said, I've never played any of the Mafia games. So
No comment. Okay. How about this? How do you feel about this, Nog? For me, like when I see the game that is like the Indiana Jones first-person game, or like when I see like the gameplay footage, which, you know, it's just like the first couple, you know, it could be delayed, who knows. But when I see gameplay trailers like this, like the stab in the neck is wild. You can throw a knife at someone's head. That's kind of interesting. You shoot him with a revolver. Yeah, maybe you'll have a cursor there. You can shoot the lamp. There's a lot of stuff there, but like, how do I describe this properly? I feel like we're almost going backwards. Like, it looks beautiful. Like, so again, it's the same kind of thing that I wish didn't always have to be the case. But like, if a game looks gorgeous, you also like limit and cut down on like gameplay viability in a lot of ways. Like at the end of the day, this is a knife throw that we've seen a lot. Just like Red Dead Redemption, you know, the shooting of the gun, it kind of seems a little sloppy because he's not supposed to be, I think, like a trained assassin. He's just kind of like a farm boy who's shooting a gun at this point, and maybe he'll get better. But this whole game, you know what this reminds me of? This is one of the few games that I look back on with like, dude, that was like a 10 out of 10 game for me as like a person. Let me show you guys this game. Did anybody here play a little old game called The Saboteur? Please tell me I spelled it right. Yes! Fuck it, let's go! Dude, I remember this game so well, and it is so cool. Come on, baby, give me I just want like a collage of stuff. You're giving me too much. 5 years, too old. 9 years, too old. 2 years, still too old. There we go. It's still a little fucky. God, I love this game. God, this game was peak. Did I get a game that no one here played? Dog. This game was fucking awesome. It was like, it had like the right amount of like flair. It had this thing where like basically the premise was like Nazi occupied Paris, and like the whole place like sucked the color and life out of the place. So every time you like beat a region, bring color back into it. And you play like this fucking Irishman that's just like a fucking awesome dude. It's like Hitman, but like better in the sense that like it didn't overcomplicate shit, and it was so much more fun. Like, to me, this is where I wish games kept leaning into, which was like you could do weird shit. You had grenades, you had bully, like you had all this weird shit. And the reason why I say it looks familiar, can I get the thing that like shows? I don't know why it's taking so long to fucking load. It's because it's on like 1080p. Yeah, see, like this is kind of in this same similar-esque vibe, where like it's driving, it's like racing. Can I get like a more modern point of it? Yeah, see, like this, again, it's kind of bad because this is all like old-ass, Nazi-occupied Paris nonsense. Can I get one that's like colorful? You could like you could get disguises from people. It was so fucking good. And then if we look at like the same thing with this, kind of similar, like old-timey driving, looks like more modern, but I'm not seeing like the cool gameplay reach that these other ones had, you know what I mean? I wonder if he shows any of the stealth, because this guy looks like he's going Rambo style, but like you could like steal shit. Man, I love this game. This game was like this is also, I don't know why, but it was like a nice little touch. You could like smoke it with it, kind of a weird, yeah, but yeah, it was a ton of fun. Also, Nog says the revolver needs to be slower there. Doesn't feel like it has enough weight. Yeah, maybe. I also feel like I think they're trying to lean into the idea of like, how do I put it? Like the guy's not like Franklin. Franklin was like a trained murderer, so he's just like a soldier. So he was just really good at killing people. Whereas this guy is probably like a little country bumpkin. Is he gonna steal his outfit? Yeah, you could like sneak up behind him. This guy's so terrible. You gotta sneak up behind him. This guy's never played a game in his life. Break his neck. Boom. Cheeky little Irish man looking like a little newspaper boy. Bang. Disguise. Dude, I remember going into bases with my little suppressed pistol and just fucking taking out 2 people in the neck with a little suppressed pistol. You hide it again. This was my Hitman. God, I love this game. Anyways, yeah, this is where I wish games went, because it's a lot more like arcadey, but it's still fun, and it still has like really good art style design. I'm sure the Mafia will be great. The Mafia game will be great. But this one looks like we're kind of headed into the same direction, like kind of like Red Dead. But Red Dead also had like a lot of fun, like dynamic world elements, which maybe this game does as well. But like, I wish that we had more weird stuff like that. Like even if there's some artsy stuff where like the world itself is like detached from color, and the more you like destroy these people who are like evil and you know, ripping away all the beauty in life, you bring back color to that region and stuff like that, you know. Nog says, oh, maybe then, depends a lot. The sound of it carries. When it carries, but yeah, we'll have to see. Let's see how much the thing hits, because I will say that like the neck stab was pretty fire.
Of course.
I don't want to get fucking copyright claim, please. Boom. Ooh, that sounds like a good. It just looks a little like, yeah, like a little too wavy, but again, I think that might be the point, is that like we're playing a character that's very like, he's a fresh out of the farm boy kind of status, trying to help these mafia people. He's sneaking around, and then eventually, yeah, like hopefully he becomes like a proficient badass, because he does come in here with like a shotgun, which looks a little bit more stable. Like his accuracy is slightly better. Okay, so maybe that's how it is. Maybe it's just like we're seeing him at the start. Yeah. But, ladies and gentlemen, what should we do? What do you call it? I talked about the Mafia game. I'm happy with that. Should we go into some fun React tab? Have some silly fun? Or should we watch the Outer Worlds one? I've tried to find the gameplay that IGN uploaded. To be honest, it was kind of a son of a bitch to find. I don't even know if I got the right ones, because they uploaded like 17 ones that I didn't think were Outer Worlds based. They're like the Outer Worlds first look at sci-fi arsenal. That one probably we could rock. New flaws system. I don't know if you've seen that one. How combat works. Okay, no, some of these I'd actually want to see. Nog says, need more oomph. Somehow it
said wait to do React. At least till Cat shows up. He loves that shit raw.
We'll do. We'll see. Alrighty. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, one of the games I'm the most excited for this year is absolutely the Outer Worlds. I don't know why, but this game hits all the right places as far as like like the first one was really well balanced, so like your builds would just fucking tear through people. The like game had consequences, which was cool. The game had companions, and like just like I think in a lot of ways, Nong is praising like Expedition 13 for like taking systems from RPGs that we've had for a long time and like actually finding ways to iterate upon them and make them actually better. I think the companion system in this game is brilliant, where what do you call it? Your companions both leveled up, so you could put skills in them, but also there was like fun dynamics of your companions with the charisma skill tree, where like you would lower your cooldown. There were chances like when they use an ability, completely resets your other ability, so you could just like infinitely spam them. So it gave like credence to like something that in every RPG, which is like your charisma stat. It basically just means like when shit hits the fan, you're dead. But if you talk your ass off enough, no shit ever hits the fan. So it kind of just ends up like deleting itself. Whereas this game, it was like, no, if you bet in charisma, yeah, you'll be able to hit some speech checks, which can help you if you want. But if not, if you just want a Rambo style, you can just command your like legion of companions just to fuck shit up. And that was like a mechanic that I really enjoyed in the Outer Worlds. And now, apparently, we have a flaw system, which I think we already kind of got teased of.
With our exclusive IGN first coverage of the Outer Worlds 2, we talked about how it's changing up RPG mechanics and how expansive its open regions will be.
Is it just me, or is this guy talking like a mouse? Let me increase the audio because it's quite quiet.
We're gonna get silly with the revamped flaws system, where the game tracks your behavior and quirky habits to offer positive effects and some goofy negatives.
That's tough. What if they? Oh man, dude. What if they don't know that I play like an asshole? You know what I mean? Like I'm the guy who carries a billion stims and never uses them. What if we get a debuff of like hoarder or some bullshit where like you find them less often? So then you're like, God damn it, that one it kills the point of why I save. Anyway,
through in some wild directions. So I talked with game director Brandon Adler and design director Matt Singh at Obsidian about how the system works this time around, and we dug deep into a couple new flaws to see what we can expect in the
yeah, I want to see what are you doing? I don't like you typecasting me, man. Fable did this in a cool way where it's like your weapon changes. If you're like a money hungry person, your hilt goes golden. If you're like killing demonic monsters, your weapon blade goes black. In this game, it's just like, oh, we noticed that you have this really cringe behavior. Here's a debuff, asshole. And you're like, don't look at me. Don't stop looking at me. All right, let's see. What about the flaws?
So for the Outer Worlds 1, we actually really loved the flaw system. It was a unique take on building your character through reactive events in the world. And for the Outer Worlds 2, we wanted to kind of reposition it a little bit. We wanted to ask the player, do you want to opt in?
Sorry. I don't know why my whole thing is lagging so much. I don't know if I'm getting like downloading the background. Yeah. Quite slow.
Into the
Delayed
really cool
clicks.
experience, right? So the game is observing how you're playing the game. All of the actions that you're taking, all the patterns that you might be partaking in the game. And what we do is we observe that and then respond to you and say, hey, we see you're doing this thing. You want to lean into that? And if you do, you get some really cool bonuses.
Okay.
Gnawing Fetus said the point of saving them is to have them in case you know are on the last boss, have beaten everything else in the game, and have less than a hit of HP left long.
Exactly. And if you do, then you reload the save because you're bad anyway. You need to do better. You kill them without dropping a single aspect of health. Or you pick a build that requires you to self-heal or just chose stealth. Just go stealth rep. Anyways, but it does look like what they just said was that you can choose. So like if you are like playing melee a lot or like unarmed, they might give you like a flaw that like increases melee damage or maybe decreases charisma or something like that. I assume that's what they're kind of saying. But it's cool that like I think you get to choose. Like it's like, hey, there's this flaw. Do you want to keep it? Let's see.
But it's going to take specific penalties as well. So that's a little bit of a change from the first game. The first game gave you a perk point, right, that you could spend however you'd like. We've actually paired our bonuses and our negatives together thematically for flaws in the second game to really make it an interesting trade-off, right? And you get to decide, is this something that I want to incorporate into my playstyle, into my build? Maybe it works really well. Maybe it's just a fun, wacky thing, you know? We want it to feel like this really
I wonder if it's actually going to be like substantial debuff, like, or if it's just going to be like, hey, do 30% more damage with melee weapons. That's it. And you're like, okay. Like, but maybe it's like every time you punch someone in the head or get a critical hit in the headshot, there's a chance for them to like become friendly. You're like, okay, that's a sizable difference. Yeah, but like maybe you lose it on like body damage or something like that. Like that's actually a sizable like change of your gameplay.
Experience, but also something that can help you build your character. We always want you to be telling your story in an Obsidian game, and this is just another way where
sorry, I hate to keep bothering you. Honestly, that's what I kind of mean by like I like that they're trying. I'm sure there's things like this in other RPGs, but man, maybe it's just we've had so many RPGs that have just done nothing new. Like they're kind of like, yeah, you know.
As you, the player, are going through and doing things, you get to incorporate things in real time into your character's story by taking these flaws. It's less abstract than like, oh, you're just going to get a perk point for it. And instead, we ask the player, do you want to lean into the thing that you're doing and get a real bonus for it, but have to maybe think about your gameplay a little bit differently now?
One that we're showing you today is Sungazer. So Sungazer is probably my favorite flaw, maybe because I helped kind of design this one personally, so I really do kind of like that. This one is it's a little ridiculous, but if you've been staring at the sun for a certain length of time, a bunch of time,
just searing it. Dude, the best part about this shit is if you're like me, man, I'm gonna go to fucking Wikipedia day one, find out all the cool stats and what the hell to do, and my dumb ass is gonna sit there looking at the sun for 10 minutes just to get this OP perk.
Times, the game notices that and says like, hey, you want to take the sun gazer flaw. What it does is it kind of messes up your vision a little bit. Things get, a lot more lens flare.
What the fuck? Okay, let's see what happens. Sun gazer. You just torch your whole eyes, you idiot. You can't help but stare into the gentle glow of the Arcadia stars. Your eyesight has been permanently damaged. You just become an idiot. Increases your spread with ranged weapons. Okay, but you've created a lasting connection with daylight. Okay, warning: one selected flaw cannot be removed. That's cool. That's cool. So there's like a chance or like a thing. I wonder how many flaws you can take. Permanent damage to your vision, so you'll always see light weird, I guess. 100% ranged weapon spread, continually heal while outside during the day up to... Man, come on, guys, don't do this. What the fuck are they on, man? You gonna take 100 penalty on spread of weapons for not like if it was full health, then that would be kind of still comparable. But the fact that it's only available at outside of the daytime when you're seeing and outside, like how many fucking missions are outside, and then 50 health, like what the hell? Absolutely not. Like that to me that's worrisome because like if you're gonna do the flaw system, make it so that like I actually feel like well shit, this is worth it. But that's just like a big negative with a fucking minuscule positive. I don't know. Maybe it's bad because it's health, and maybe if it was like damage, then you'd be like, okay, maybe. But even then, the specificity on that is brutal.
A lot more bloom going on. It makes it a little bit harder for like range spread on your weapons.
It doesn't look terrible.
When you're
it doesn't look brutal.
Outside, you can actually regenerate health up to about 50% health or so. I think it's a really cool flaw. It's a lot of fun. It's one of those things that, everybody's going to be able to take different types of flaws and be like, oh,
it is funny that your just eyes are torched and you can't turn that off. There's got to be like constant commands, but if you're on Xbox, good luck. That's going to be tough.
Fun. I think it's one of those things you can just layer on top of any build, and I think it's going to be cool and fun.
I think Sun Gazer is actually a really good example of just playing with how we observe the player engaging with the world, right? One of the fun things about flaws in the Outer Worlds 2 is there's a sense of discovery to it. Something like Sun Gazer, it's not a traditional thing that people are just looking up in the sun. So we don't expect like.
I also wonder if like can you get these again? So like if I say no to that flaw, I might just botch without getting it ever again. That's a little shitty.
Lone Syndicate said, "Grin, did you see the drip marketing for Wooer?"
I haven't.
Raidnade said, "Hi there, Grin. How was your week, buddy?"
What's going, Raid? You missed a whole ass stream. We talked about GTA, we talked about Mafia and Doom Eternal, but now we're checking out Outer Worlds, then we're going to react. But how are you, buddy? My week was good. Pretty productive, even though I kind of got a little spinning in circles there for a bit, but I got through it, and I got to be more effective. But let me quickly pause this Oblivion moment for an really abrupt, Withering Waves drip marketing. Withering Waves Twitter. I don't want to call it X. For love of God, please understand what I mean. Thank you. Okay. Good. I feel like also if you just type X in, you're going to get some like nonsense, right? Like some porn nonsense. Ooh, Lord. Okay, so we're going to take a little baby aside. Oh, my God. It's good, guys. My throat. Let us open up this tweet. I think it's this one. This one, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. Okay. Here we are. Also, surprise cameo thing from Lloyd. Look at this guy's profile picture. It's Lloyd. All right. Post Lumen something.
Lone Syndicate said Looper looks fucking badass and Carthia looks good too.
I can't wait. Let's see. But Carthia is the character that most people are probably going to be saving for, but those sons of bitches do this shit to us, okay? Oh, also, no, I didn't even get to tell you, Lone. I kept wishing on the banner in Withering Waves. I lost the 50-50 to the fucking monk girl, but I did end up getting a 2-stack, so I got I got enough gems to buy 2 copies of what's her name, but I was kind of debating on whether I should get a cop because I got 1 copy of what's her name, The lady, what's her name? Azani. I got one copy of Azani. But I was debating on getting her Constellation 2 with the same money because I looked at what's her name? Camellia? Not Camellia. What's like her best support character, the mage priest lady? I looked at her C1 and I thought actually that may be much better off because the C2 is for Zani is like a critical rate increase, which I already have pretty good critical rate on her. So I don't know if that'll be as big of a damage bonus than the other one for the other lady, which will just make you able to hyper stack, I think, more things. But I don't know what the data is on that. I might have to ask an AI nonsense to break that down for me. But the power of Sentinel, this clashes to unite with her. What's the art look like? Okay, gorgeous. The truth has become a maelstrom of life. Well, let's just look at this. Wait. Okay. We get them both for the price of one. Sorry, yeah, we get the she is a two-form character, speculatively. Leaks say yes. The truth is the beacon in the maelstrom of life. Okay. Now, the people are hopefully she's not dog shit because she is the first pseudo god character in this game.
Lone Syndicate said I can speak on Phoebe cons because I don't know what they do. I also got another 5-star on Zani banner. And got fucking Calchar.
Oh, I see. But you, I got you. Gotcha. Good. I was about to say, you got a third. What's her third? C3. Goddamn. But, yes, man. Did they go back on the weird boy shorts thing? Because this doesn't look like boy shorts, man. If she has boy shorts on, that's fine. But if she doesn't, that's preferred. Anyways. Very cool. This is the character I'll be wishing on. I don't think they're back to back. At least I hope not. God damn it. I think it is. Oh shit. No, yeah. I think it's the Elf Girl and then Carthea. Sorry, Carthea will be the next banner. But then after that, gang, we have this fire little minx. But first of all, let's read what she is about. Just ignore the attention, warrior. This victory is ours to savor.
Lone Syndicate said Zani's third con is a damage increased up to 1200% while in her ult.
Jesus. Wow, that's brutal. That's kind of fucked up, actually. Anyways, that's so much. Why is it so much? Anyways, the Star Gladiator and well, okay, I gotta read this properly. The Star Gladiator of Septimont. A warrior with a pure heart, untamed spirit, intense passion, and immense potential. Immense potential. She will relentlessly pursue the things she admires. Ooh, is that going to be us, maybe? Cherish each moment that allows her to indulge competition and self-expression on stage. Okay, so she's a wee bit of an attention whore. Is that the vibe we're going off with? God, Jesus. I already see gameplay of her, so she is looking awesome. I don't love that the leaks suggest that she's a character that you need to play with 1 HP for her to function. That's not great, but I do love my favorite team in the game, even though I enjoy playing Zani, is still the Changli quick swap team with the guy who's not whatever his name is, Bennett, I don't know what his name is. Anyways, him. So terrible names, but he is still my favorite character to play. A lot of fun, good stuff. Yes. But she is also a fire character, so hopefully she doesn't need to be half dead to function. Hopefully she's like a supporter, which is kind of what she seems like because she has a rallying flag, which would kind of make sense. But anyways, shut up. Let's do this. What's her voice actor? Hit me. We're not going to hear it? Okay. Fuck us, I guess. Looks pretty great, man. The splash shot looks good. Just ignore the attention, warrior.
Lone Syndicate said Looper, I think, is another Chungli support.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder how. You know what I mean? I hope she is. I just wonder if she's going to be, Also, Rate says, "Ayo, 5-star Denjin." what's is that Denjin? What do you call? I lost 50-50 to that damn monk lady. I think is that Denjin. But damn, man. Anyways, thank you for telling me that loan. Happy with the drip marketing. Hopefully, we get them coming home soon. I don't know if I should save at this point because I probably should save. I should save. I'm debating on what the best thing to put my money into to get the most value out of Zani, because her C1 looks good, but not necessary, at least if you got really good artifact rolls. And yeah. Oh, my head. But then again, I think like also putting points into Phoebe would not be terrible because that way she's also kind of like a supporter, I guess, which I feel like has a little bit more longevity. But also I wouldn't mind I could also do what Lone's doing, which is I'm guaranteed the next 5-star I get, and I have 5K in my pocket with another 10 pull in there. So I could go for that C3, but I don't feel like I'd rather have the Fire Lady or the other. We have too many characters I also want coming down the pipeline. We can't be greedy, all right, or mismanage our expenses. Also, Rate says I'm doing fine, but I've been sleeping in super late. Yeah, man, I've started to get eaten up by that a little bit too. I'm starting to sleep in a little bit more than I would like. When I have a good day, it's when I wake up, eat my food, maybe like read 2 chapters of a manga, and then walk for a bit, and then ready to rip. Yeah.
Your player pattern, but it's a really cool sense of discovery when you see the game offering you something.
This is feats, by the way, in Outer Worlds Raid.
How I'm looking around the world, that's crazy. And then we respond to that. That's like where the fun sense
if you look into the sun, you go blind and get healing outside.
Some of these flaws comes out.
Lone Syndicate said I am holding GRINN, no more summon on Zani, however I shall save all my coral for the Zani rerun and buy 2 more copies.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to go. Ah, shit. Now you make me think maybe that's not a terrible idea. Can you do that, Lone? Are you sure you can do that? Maybe. I would have thought Bolty would have surely had Shang Li C6 if that's the case. But I thought if you bought the character from the store, I think you tap out on that resource. Or can you keep dipping back in?
Said also, GRINN Borderlands 4 has sunk its teeth into me. I want it immediately. I need my looter shooter fix.
Yeah, man. Amen. I agree. It's so funny, man. Shout out to Gearbox because, like, everyone, I'm not sure if it's just that like people are so starved for like that type of game and no one really is like fitting that. And Destiny has kind of started tapering off quite a bit for a lot of people, or if it's just that they've like implemented so many like things that people are like, okay, all right, they're kind of cooking. All right, okay. You're listening, you're doing all that stuff. I can't wait to see PAX East raid because I think that's when Borderlands are going to start digging into more of that stuff. Where like I think they're going to have a Q&A and like talk about directly those things. Man, if they wanted to win people over, I think it'd be really easy because at this point they already got a lot of us. Like they're already like we're locked in. I was always locked in. I'm a Borderlands like tryhard fan. I can't like it's probably one of my favorite games of all time. Like it's like comfort food for me. It's like Saints Row, which is also why it hurts me so badly that Saints Row is so massacred. Anyways, but I think they wanted to have like an instant W with Borderlands 2 or 3, 4, whatever the fucking sequel is. I think they would just have to be like, listen, guys, we made a big mistake with the story. It was. We thought like we were tapping into like they just have to like really lean into like it was really bad and this is why it's not going to be bad anymore. We've hired a brand new story creator who has never worked on any of the previous games because at this point that's what we want. We want someone who just don't give me whatever that was again, you know. Raid says also they could easily be like, hey, within the first 10 minutes we just fucking obliterate Ava. And you're driving in like a little speeder car, and the main character, you have an option to brake hard as hell, and she just smosh her fucking head right into the glass, and like she's like, "What the fuck?" And you just keep driving. We have moments like that sprinkled throughout the entirety of the game, up until the point where eventually you feel like she's suffered enough, and then we bring back Maya, and then you're now chilling, and now this character has put up with enough shit, and you're good. Yeah, stuff like that. that character people would be like, "Okay, you're telling me I can destroy this piece of shit whoever hates uniformly?" Yes.
GTID said you see the furry reveal exclamation
You missed it.
mark. She's supposed to have Asuka's type of personality.
I did.
The red suit girl from the Eva anime double exclamation mark.
We just missed it, GT. We went back. You just pull back the dial on the YouTube. We just looked at the fucking Wither Waves characters. What do you call it? I don't know by any furry characters. Is it like in the Leak Land? Because we just looked at the drip marketing. We seen Lupa and Carthea. And hot damn, man, I hope Carthea. Everything based on the leaks, people saying that it is not necessary to yeah. Oh, also, yeah, you determined her to be furry. Yeah, I don't think Lupa's furry. I already closed the windows. I can't go back and look, but I don't think Lupa. We talked about this. Lupa is a furry. I don't know if I define like if you're a normal person and you activate fire magic or some shit, and then you have like ears and a tail, or maybe she actually has ears, like you were saying, but the tail is fake. Man, maybe you gotta have we have higher standards for what furries are. Okay, anyway.
Kind of based on a bug. So we were doing a demo. Actually, the end rate.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep pausing. I just want to. I was talking to Raid about Borderlands. Raid says there was some new Destiny stuff that got revealed, but I didn't want to have to go back to the game, man. Not again, dude. I watched the trailer and thought, what is this? Like it's so weird because like I will always
Lone
have a love in my heart for that
said
game.
Lupa ain't no furry now. Poltra from Z's. Now
That's a furry. That's like level 7, if not getting close to 10. Okay, she starts to go on her hand, like both hands and feet. We're starting to get too close, too close to the wire there. Lupa isn't no furry. GTA 6 finally got released. Yeah, we seen. Yeah, watch that. We pushed back 10 years. GT. Also, I was gonna say to Raid, yeah, man, I love Destiny to bits. It got a nice place in my heart for the game. I still feel weird about it. I still feel like I don't know what they're doing. Like I think like I am just so not excited with most of the things that they're doing, which is crazy because like I was the most excited when we finally finished the Destiny saga, but then they kind of just nothing. Killed all that momentum.
And when we were doing that, we had some weird lighting thing where we were seeing kind of like lens flares everywhere, and there was like weird bloom all over the place. And we kind of made a joke, like, wouldn't it be funny to have a flaw that was like astigmatism or something like that? And that's kind of what
is that what that is?
We're like, oh, yeah, like,
I've always heard someone say astigmatism. It's just like your eyes all fucked up and it like sees blurry light almost.
If we were actually going to do this, and how would this trigger? And I think it was maybe Kyle Koenig or maybe it was Matt you that were like, yeah, if you stare at like the sun too long, like this is what, and like, you know, that's how these things grow. They're very organic.
That's cool.
And again, something like as simple as a bug that we see, like, wouldn't it be funny if that thing, and then we just kind of riff on.
I love that.
Kind of just grows into an actual feature that's in the game.
Okay, if there was anything to learn about the Oblivion remaster, boy, man, the right bug can make the game like 10x better. Okay, the wrong bug can also make it 10x worse. But yeah.
So we actually
Nine
are
Fetus
showing,
said astigmatism is floaters in our active vision.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay. I have a couple of those sometimes. I sometimes feel like there's a bug like flying to my right, and I'm like, and it's nothing. Also, I hope they give us more things. Oh, I think this is the other one. Foot in and mouth.
This is one of those where we observe certain player patterns.
What is
right?
this? Is this where you just eat shit when trying to hit a speech check? Foot in mouth syndrome. You've been racing through conversations and seem to hate the idea of having to talk to others. Your choice in the conversations are now randomly picked for you after a few seconds, but you gain a bonus to all experience earned. Yeah, man, a lot of these are like not scaled properly. like here's 15 more experience for like you destroying an entire quest chain. Woo! But that is cool that there are they have them scaled properly as far as like the risk or like the weakness, and like them defining like that will change your playthrough throughout the entire game, like for sure. But at the same time, I don't think the gain is like, yeah, I'll take that. It's like, what? So maybe the flaws are for like sick people, like really, really sick people. I do love how they can they're tracking that behavior of like, oh, you're not enjoying our game, you know. Now we should see some
Lone
of
Syndicate
this
said that sound
release.
both like an interesting and terrible idea.
Well, it seems like the same idea that they always had with like some games where like they tried doing that with a lot of these games at like at certain time back in the past where like they tried to like incentivize you to speak quickly, and I always hated that because it's like it just makes it's not necessary. It's not like it's more cursed. Like you see a Fallout and all these games that let you like take 10 years to choose a conversation. It's totally fine. It doesn't like take away from immersion, I don't think. If anything, it makes you like feel the strain of the system that you're in even more. Nong says, astigmatized voting, not preferred activity, like where you're actively. Oh, I gotcha. So like random stuff. Gotcha. Dude, I heard something crazy, Nong, in the other day. And I immediately popped into my head, which I don't know if is a great thing. But a person was talking about how like psychedelics and your eye are like directly attached. And it was like a weird stat of like how most, basically just that like, there's something that can happen where like your retina or something like that can like basically like you don't realize how much random shit your eye is just like canceling out. And if you mess with those like two things within your brain, there's like very little likelihood, it doesn't happen often, but it can cause like people to see like hallucinations, or like a person in the comments talked about like doing a shit ton of mushrooms when they were younger, and then for like they were like super high for like almost a week straight, and then they was hoping that they basically started seeing like snow fall like around their border of their eye, and they thought that was going to go away.
GTID said astigmatism is when your eye is more cone-shaped than circular.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, like he basically for his whole life is permanently seeing like snow fall. I didn't understand if it was like you're seeing a permanent hallucination, or if you're just seeing like it damages your retina to where like you don't realize like all these tiny little liquids are going through your eye or something like that. But then they also talked about. What was it? Like it was something a weird stat, but it's like your brain, like apparently like no blind person has ever had any sort of like schizophrenia or any sort of thing like that. So like your eyes being able to see is directly correlated to like your brain's capacity to whatever. Like maybe it's also I don't know if that's like a contradictive thing of like maybe they're saying that no person who is blind has ever been schizophrenic or any of those symptoms, because they define it by being able to see. So like if you're not able, I don't think that based on the people the story that I was reading about, I don't think that's what it was like, referring to, or else I think the story would have got called out. But anyways,
role-playing game. We know we've got lots of really interesting, but sometimes dense conversations. And we notice some people, they want to get to the action. They want to get in and out of conversations, get on these really cool
Ray says,
quests.
I actually have
What we
astigmatism.
observe
For
is
me,
sometimes-
it's generally blurry at all. Damn, really?
Sometimes people just rush through
Jesus.
these conversations. And we're looking at that. So if you decide to kind of,
Gnawing
spam through
Fetus said,
conversation
I'll
for a
never
while,
drop acid into my eyes, or anything for that matter. I can't stand anything near my eyes. Like I'll never play lawn darts with injectables.
Yeah, the way the guy described it was like, I think it is just like when you have like, I think when you take an absurd amount of something, there's no, like your brain almost doesn't have the ability to flush it out, so then it stops trying to, and then you basically are permanently, I've heard people talk about that, people who do like MDMA, whatever nonsense, where they're like, I was tripping for like 2 months straight, and I'm like, see, that's, yeah, so then the idea is like, yeah, your brain just never stops, like whatever damage or like alteration you've done, it seemingly can like be permanent to some extent. But I do think that's on like the wild extremes of people being stupid and like doing like fucking way too much shit, and all that crap, But I thought it was one of those things where I was like, that's the thing. That's a new fear unlocked, where like you could permanently, and I've heard people say that, where like psychedelics could possibly detonate a psychosis in some people. Like it's very rare, but it can happen. And yeah,
we'll give you foot and mouth. What foot and mouth does is it actually kind of it changes the way conversations might play out in a really interesting way. You'll get an experience bonus for the rest of the game.
Also, wow. I didn't know it did this.
Really interesting way.
Oh, okay. No, that screws you completely. Yeah, that's kind of a shitty one. Now, because I thought you'd like at least pick, but no, it locks everyone and gives you only one.
You'll get an experience bonus for the rest of the game. So it's pretty enticing.
Yeah, is it?
Now every time you go into conversations, you're actually going to have a timer.
I would take that if it was like 50 KXP, like it made it significantly better, but not 15, man.
You're rushing through this? Cool. You want to lean in? You better be picking fast. And so we actually have a timer going on in the conversation.
Oh, maybe that's what I missed. Okay, so maybe you could still pick fast, but yeah. 2 straight months? F that, not yet. yeah. That's fair enough. I don't even really do. Yeah, man. I feel like, thank you so much for saying that. I feel like such a pussy, man. I have to like do this to my eye. You know what's crazy? I have to like, cause I hate the fucking. I think I'm too fidgety. Like I'm too Get away from me. Deflected. No, I'm that. So the only way that I can get eye drops in my eye is I like grab the nozzle and then I slowly irk it to my eye like this, and I pull it down and then I dip it in like that. Like I'd rather it touch my eyeball, then squirt it, than see the drop about to fall into my eye and be like, no, no, please. Oh, but yeah, man, I ain't about that eye. That's too much. I hate it.
An option.
Give me my dry eyes.
All right, we're gonna pick for you at random, and so that can actually be really fun. It's an interesting and
I wonder if you
unique
see
way
a
to
little clock
experience
there.
the game. We think it's something that maybe people will experiment with, or even try on like a second playthrough just to see what kind of fun, wacky stuff.
That's
might
cool.
play
That's
out.
the thing about that. I think they need to adjust
may
the
hurt
the
some
reward, because I think 90% of people who've seen the 2 that we just seen would be like, no, that what? If I can heal only half of my health and I have to be outside, which I'm never, and I permanently have this glossy filter on my eyes, no. Now, if it's like you heal whenever you're in light, even indoor light, then you're like, okay, that's kind of huge. That's huge. I'll take it. I'll fuck with the nonsense eye irritation and be weird.
In your game, if
Lone
you're not
Syndicate
careful.
said every time I use eye drops, I end you using like 1/4 of the bottle from all the failed attempts.
I'm so happy it's not just me. Man, it's funny. My mom is a diabetic, and now I'm probably out here too, just like a fucking animal. But same thing with like, she pricks her hand with like a needle. I don't hate needles as much, but it's something about like hitting my needle. It's like like stabbing myself almost. Like I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, I don't know why. It's like my body goes, stop, stop. It's almost like someone doing this constantly. Like I'd rather just be like, fucking punch me in the face, get over with.
All right. But that's cool. You know, we want you to lean in. We want to, again, it's another fun way to get a different story outcome, because now you're playing it differently. Like, oh, what happens if choices are random? That actually might lead to some really fun and interesting things that you as a
My
player
Wi-Fi might be
wouldn't have
tweaking.
selected naturally. So foot and mouth, really fun.
Is
It
there
makes you
another
kind of
one?
Play the game differently in a way that we think is really exciting.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that,
Give me more.
I actually had foot and mouth in one of my playthroughs, and I almost kicked out one of my companions on accident. So, be careful. The things we do to make sure it doesn't break the game.
That dude looks
is,
so cool, dude.
We're just choosing things that are already there. It may be that you didn't want that.
9
particular thing
Fetus
to
said it took
happen
me from
in something
14
like
to
this.
16 to be able to inject myself with insulin. And I've had diabetes since I was 2.5.
Wow. Yeah. So does that mean someone else has to stick you, or is that Because yeah, man, my mom got like this weird like little thing where like she cranks a knob and then she just jabs herself in the thigh and then bang. But she always hits a vein and she starts panicking because it like fucking just elevates like a lot. But yeah,
We're just choosing things that are already there. It may be that you
had
didn't
to,
want
yeah.
that particular
Someone
thing
had to stick you with
happen.
it. I was gonna say, but man, this is so cool to me. I wonder if we can actually make this in the character creator, or if this is just built into the armor. I'd be fine if the armor was just like, fuck it, you lost an arm. If you want to wear this armor, you're losing. You got a bio arm. Okay.
In something like this, but it's not going to really break the game because these are all options you could have selected anyways. It's just more like, well, we're railroading you into those things.
Yeah.
Because, hey, this is what you wanted to do with this. But again, even with the foot and mouth thing, you
I
still
like to
have
take my
15 seconds
time.
to choose. So,
So
even if you take this, you're still going to be able to choose. But there's a little bit of time.
It's also quite a long time.
Yeah,
I feel like it's not. I'm not feeling antsy by it.
For the way that
Still
we
gonna
craft
take it.
all of these, we really take like a fun first approach, right? We look at what would be fun from our perspective as an RPG player, as a game player. What do we think would be interesting? And then once we map that out, now we think about, okay, what problem space do we have, and what do we have to do to make sure that we don't just break the game for you, but we make an additive experience.
Yeah. So again,
I
in the
wonder
outer-
if there's gonna be a perk where it just tells like you don't want backstory. You're just like, what do we want from me? This? Okay, I'll do it. They're like, you don't want to know? No, I don't. Just tell me where to go and what to do. Okay. I wonder if they're gonna monitor you like that, so you're not like a big lore guy.
Worlds too, it was important to us that when you make these selections, they matter, and to do that, we make sure that like, hey, if you're taking a flaw, it's gonna be with you for the rest of the game. Like this is it. But we're very explicit about like, here's how the game is going to be changing for you. Do you want to go ahead and take that on? You have to have like extra confirmations there to make sure you really, really want that. But again, for players that actually do want this, we want them to know, like, okay, cool, this is a new play style that you're going to kind of be playing through the game, using this thing. And that's just a more larger philosophy, general philosophy for the Outer Worlds 2 itself, right? Like, we want these choices to matter long term. And so this is just kind of showing that, right? Where you've selected that thing, this is just how it's going to be.
You know, Brandon touched on how these are kind of optional things. You can take them or not. We make that explicit to the player. You can take one and play around with it and see if it's for you. And if you want to reload a save, that's totally fine.
We got it.
But we really do want these choices to feel impactful. And even to the extreme where, I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about flawed anyways. We actually have a flaw where you can take it, and now you have to take flaws. That's another way of just...
I don't want that one. That one sounds ass. I mean, again, it's cool RPG stuff where, like, again, it's funny because, like, I think there was something similar, not really similar, but it was in New Vegas where, like, it was like Uncanny Valley, but, like, it made it so that you had, like, way more access to certain things within the game. Like references and lore, but if you didn't want, like, the immersion breaking of, like, seeing Indiana Jones in, like, a fucking, you know, a goddamn, what is it called? A fridge. Then you wouldn't need it. So in that case, I like
opting in. Like
maybe this is like an iteration on that, but like there's always been perks in New Vegas. But I like the idea of this being like you have to earn the perk or the whatever the hell flaw.
You to engage with the system. We don't expect everybody's going to.
Also, I like the idea that flaws are also benefits. Like if you have ADHD, that can offer like not just a negative. If you have like we talked about it a lot in the past. But like if your sin of whatever is greed of like whatever, doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or good. It's kind of it has positives and negatives. You know.
Lone Syndicate said these flaws so far out.
I agree. They're not. Well, the one to me I thought was okay. The 15 experience. I seen the timer. It didn't seem crazy fast. If I wasn't streaming it, I probably would pick it because the 15 experience could kind of. I think it just needs to increase the gains, and then it'd be like, okay, now it's worth it.
It guides the story that you're telling. It changes the outcomes for you as a player, and it really does help you build that personal story for your character.
I think we get it.
That's just another way that we try to do it. Yeah, we actually really key into kind of all the common stuff, the common language we use for building the game itself, right? So we try to obscure this a little bit from the player, but it's a game underneath.
That's hilarious,
right? We've got an encounter system. We know when you're in combat. We know when you're not in combat. We know when you're talking to somebody. We have all of this kind of wide array of triggers that have to be there to make our systems go. And so
that makes sense. So they're talking about their system manage you and all that stuff and keep track of it. This is such a good fucking flaw. It's called Hoarder. Your carrying capacity is drastically increased, but automatically you pick up junk, every single piece of junk that you walk by. I wonder if it's just like you have a pickup zone so that you walk by and just like you're a vacuum. I like that one a lot. I'd probably pick that one. Depending on, again, this is the thing that I hate, is they're probably like, increase carrying capacity by 15. And I'm like, that's nothing. That's absolutely not worth me picking up like 1,000 cups when I walk by a fucking a thing. Absolutely not. But to me, also, what if you're stealing? Yeah, see, that's tough. I think I'd have to make a save, and then I'd have to be like, all right, let's see. You know? But probably a good reason to make tons of saves when you're out and about. Having a flaw that forces you to take flaws is hilarious. I hope they have one called OCD where if you reload your weapon after firing 1 or 2 shots frequently enough, you now have to reload every single... reload after every shot. Brother, you gotta give me a fucking big old gain for that. You gotta like increase my fucking damage by like 40 or 50% in order for me to have that happening. Also, is it like maybe you just get debuffed if you do it too much and it lasts like a minute? That's maybe less shitty. But I'll detonate that so fast, man. Watching this while waiting for the Oblivion remake. I never bothered with flaws in the first game. I hope the new system works better. Yes, has better trade-offs. That's kind of what I'm worried about. Is what we're seeing. It's kind of a little bit not enough teeth.
As part of our IGN First exclusive coverage of The Outer Worlds 2, we dove deep into its weapons.
Hell yeah! Why is it so now it's louder? Yes, this is what I want to see. Because in the first Outer Worlds, it was kind of. I mean, it's just kind of like every game where like guns go burr. I mean, they're kind of. Some of them were different. They had like plasma. They were like heat. Some were energy based, stuff like that. But like. I don't know what you really can do with guns, really, besides just, like, it's a pistol, it does... It's a pistol, brother. What do you... I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, like, if you can find a way to make a pistol viable, interesting, or different, and you'd rather choose that over, like, an assault rifle that has, like, a lot more bullets, better damage... like, I don't think I've seen a game that has handled this kind of, like, flaw, especially within RPGs, ever, really. Besides just, like, I chose to spec all my points into small weapons. and now I'm killing shit like crazy. Like maybe that maybe, but like that doesn't make the weapon base valuable. It just makes your like massive input what made it that way.
Some of the wild and wacky ones that Obsidian packed into this sequel. The game features improved gunplay along with a viable stealth system and revamped weapon modding, which we got new details on, but
oh, I remember this gun. There was a gun system like this that would just drop this giant orb that just like pollutes everybody.
Lead
that was
systems
great.
Designer Kyle Koenig and design director Matt Singh join me in breaking down what's new with your arsenal as they explain each weapon we'll be seeing here.
That is, I wonder what these charges are. That looks pretty cool, man. That's also a big ass
coming
weapon.
Into Outer Worlds 2, one of the things we first decided on is we really wanted to step up gunplay.
Yes.
So we took a step back and we said, okay, we really want deep RPG systems. We really want good gun feel. How can we make these interact nicely? And what we landed on was let's just make the guns feel as good as possible right from the get-go. Let's key in recoil and sway and spread and make all of the things that really make the moment-to-moment gunplay feel satisfying. And then build on top of that with RPGs so that players that maybe are...
There's a fucking... Ooh, dude. Oh, my God, dude. I wonder if we can have a full-on companion build where you're dropping little drone things.
And then build on top of that with our...
Pop AD Bot.
RPGs so that players that maybe aren't invested in guns and they're not trying to have the...
You ever have to crank your gun? Well, Metro people probably.
The soldier gameplay. They still have fun with guns, and they still feel like their shotguns are satisfying and their sniper rifles.
I like the
yeah.
All of them have been pretty different. There's a summoner weapon. There's like a what do you call it? A high impact slow down time sniper rifle.
Far. But the player that does invest with guns can still feel like, oh, I've really...
What I really want to know is with Melee, because Melee felt pretty shit in the first game. It was it's always the same flaw. Like, this is the one thing that I really hope they do address, because, like, out of all the RPGs I've ever played, like, again, case in point, Oblivion, where, like, they're like, hey, you can use unarmed weapon, use your bare fist to punch shit. And it's just not optimized. Like, you're taking a huge sacrifice with this. There's not a single pair of, like, brass knuckles in the game or something like that. They couldn't throw in, like, a handful of fucking random weapons, like brass knuckles or some sort of fucking mega gauntlet or some shit. So often in every RPG I've ever played where they're like, Melee is an option, but why? Like, would you use it ever? And I hate it. Like, every Melee thing in Fallout or whatever should have a passive thing where, like, if you have your hands out, you're passively regenerating like 5x your health. Maybe you have to hold your hands for like enough time, like a minute, so that you can't just do that to whatever. But like, what are you talking about, dude? You, like, if you kill all the people in combat, then you can just teleport to a house, sleep for an hour, you get your full health back anyway. Like, it's not like people don't. It's not like they're like, oh, this is going to devalue stim packs. It's like, no, sleeping mechanic already devalues them.
And it's really powerful, man.
And one thing that we really wanted to key into is just a higher variety of weapons. And that doesn't just mean quantity, it really means making sure that weapons feel distinct from each other. That might be things like recoil, things like sway patterns, but it also means things like having unique reload animations for each type of weapon. That sounds like a minor thing, but it's actually a really big difference in the feel of a weapon when you're playing through and you feel, oh, this thing's chunking out and I'm slamming this thing in. It feels very distinct and different from something that's like a quick tactical reload.
I like all that. I also want the weapon to have a function. It's different, which doesn't seem to.
Our firing animations, the recoil, our reloads, how things like mobility interact with weapons, right? We'll have certain weapons where, hey, you can sprint and fire this thing at the same time, and other ones like big.
I wish Kat was here because Kat's a gun nut, and the fact that this thing is just like exposed fire, spitting out lead or some shit in your fucking head, it's wild.
Slow and lumbering, so we have a different feel for each of these.
How do you
and
reload
they have
this
their
thing?
Own distinct spaces. That's where we start, and then we start blending in RPG mechanics on top of it. We don't want to compromise the base feel of a weapon. We always want that to feel satisfying, but we want to be additive with really cool synergies with RPG systems.
Hopefully that means
the
builds.
pop-up gun is a really cool one. Instead of like firing, bullets or anything, it actually shoots out advertisement drones. And so these drones they pop up and they play advertisements at your enemies, like corporate slogans.
Does it do
and all
damage?
these fun little jingles and stuff in a way to distract. So you can use it to distract enemies, and you can swap to a different weapon and capitalize on that. You can
But
use
theoretically, you could find one that
synergize
shoots
with
too,
that.
I assume.
Or it also has a fun little mechanic where if you reload
Damn.
the weapon, it'll actually detonate those drones like they're little mobile mines.
Oh, okay.
And so you can use it in a lot of fun different ways. You can put up a wall of them. You can distract a big horde of enemies. Or you can capitalize on just like using them almost like placed mines and then destroy them on contact. They're really fun. It's thematic.
Can they be
in that,
just
like,
allies that fight people? There's got to be a subquest somewhere where it's like a mad scientist did the whole crazy drone thing where they just thought, hey, what if we do? We strapped a gun to a drone. Wouldn't that be very dangerous? They're like, yeah, yeah.
It takes that corporate tone that we had from the first game, blends it directly into the weapon in a really fun and interesting way, but also has some interesting mechanical differences that you can play with in a fairly non-traditional weapon style. I love the Doom games, and I did really want to bring our version of the BFG.
Speaking of
into
Doom,
the Outer
what?
Worlds too. So we came up with something called the Big Bang, which is actually interesting in that it's a unique science weapon in the game.
Definitely looks like it's inspired by the BFG.
It keys into its own unique ammo type called arc gas, which is a really unique resource that you can only get from interacting with rifts in the world.
Oh.
So rifts in space-time.
Oh. Damn it, man. They're like, here's this really cool weapon. You can only get ammo for it if you interact. Oh, I wonder if that's also a thing. It has could be nothing, but I wonder if it's going to be a 10 out of 10. Like eventually you're going to max out this weapon's energy or like ammunition, and it can't carry any more than what you can have. So you have to use it if you're going to be wasting it.
Energy source to fuel this weapon, super rare, but when you do, it just shoots out this huge ball of rift energy that just nukes everything in its path. You can really synergize this well with things like our throwables. So we have a number of like grenades and things like that in the game, and a returning kind of element type we have.
The throwables could look cooler.
And so you can
Yeah.
synergize a lot of different weapons. The Big Bang works really well with this, where you can gloop a big bunch of enemies. They're all
We're
stasis
gonna
in
gloop
the
on
air.
everyone, man.
And
Doesn't have the
capitalize on
gloop
that
is
by
grayish,
charging up
which
this
is
Big Bang weapon, and then just nuking them all from orbit. It's super, super fun.
Why would you double hit?
But you're not going to be able to do it a huge amount of times in the game, so you got to really conserve.
That does
your
seem like
ammo.
it hits.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
But you put a cap on it.
The
If only I could
Ball Blender's
build
unique
it.
gun that uses
Like create build
ammo
around it.
directly from your inventory, so it doesn't need to reload.
Wait,
One of
what?
the things we changed from Outer Worlds uses
favorites.
What? What was that?
The Bullet Blender is a
Bullet
unique
Blender.
gun that uses ammo directly from your inventory, so it doesn't need to reload.
Oh.
One of the things we changed from Outer Worlds 1 is we added a lot of new ammo types to help differentiate different weapons and create more value and between the different weapons. And the Bullet Blender just uses all of them. And when it uses ammo of a certain type, it changes how it shoots. So if you have shock rods that you normally use for your electric weapons and your Bullet Blender eats it, it shoots out shock damage. And it's just a great way in game to kind of use everything left.
That's kind of cool, but also terrifying, man. This game is gonna piss people off. I bet. I mean, I was gonna be a lot of people who are just out here just dumping mags. Like, yeah, I have 20k bullets, not realizing that you're eating up like fucking bazooka ammo, and you're like, no.
And really blow through your resources just pretty quickly.
So the plasma pistol that we have, it's actually pretty fun and unique in that by default it shoots out bolts of plasma, but it has a really unique charge mechanic where as you charge the weapon, these bulbs will start lighting up and moving on the weapon. And the higher your charge level, the more bolts will come out. But if you hit it just right, if you time it where all of the lights light up, you'll get a little ping.
Ooh.
If you let go right then, you get a huge bonus to how many projectiles you're firing at.
That's pretty cool. I love that. That's a mechanic I enjoy. I also think that
Lone Syndicate said
nerf-
enemies just be eating bullets for breakfast nowadays.
I was about to say. It also looks like the enemies are just like dying quite quickly, which I like. High time to kill, but it could just be that it's an IGN trying to showcase like things.
and it can be really fun because you just got to find that little sweet spot. And we've got a bunch of
I love that.
different things like that. But that's
Man,
just one example.
it's funny because that's the exact thing. That's the exact thing I was complaining about. But like in a lot of Bethesda games or something like that, a lot of times you have like pistols, big weapons, small weapons, energy weapons, stuff like that. But they don't really mean anything. You're really doing like nothing is really different. It's like a rifle, and then an energy rifle is the same. Like one's red laser, one is just bullet, and it's not no different at all. Whereas this one, it's like, oh no, the weapons, like you could find one weapon that's like, wow, that's super good. That's also kind of a flaw in a way because you're kind of like, well, I never thought about this, but like, what happens if you get like a super good assault rifle and you're dumped so much weapons into like guns, and this happens to be an energy weapon, or you're like, well, fuck. If I would have known that these kind of weapons existed, I would have just dumped it in energy. So maybe there's an ability to respec, possibly, but I do like the idea that it fixes that problem about like, you're not just firing like a 9mm that does 10 damage, and then you find another Vault pistol that does 14 damage, has maybe a better fire rate, but that's it. Seems like there's actually weapons that have mechanical differences, which is extremely interesting. So it makes the combat feel not so boring, you know?
It's fun to play on its own, but it just has that extra little thing.
Ooh, and the reload!
To capitalize on, which is kind of like it's like a game within the game.
Show me melee.
So we also have unique weapons, which are like the wackier version of the base weapon.
Ooh.
And one of our sniper rifles, the unique version is called Planet Killer.
Ooh.
And it's a giant plasma weapon with a giant hand crank to reload it that you can charge up and just fire out massive damage with. There's a bulb in front of it that lights on fire as you charge
How many
it up
bullets?
to help communicate that, and it's probably the single way to outside of Big Bang to do.
Yeah, see, man, that's always the toughest part where you're like, ooh, that sounds really efficient. But then you see that it eats up like half of the mag. So like you're basically just dumping more bullets at it. Like, so you have to shoot less, but if you miss, yikes.
And it's probably the single way to outside of Big Bang to deal the most damage with a single shot.
But it'll come with a penalty, right? It's got a huge reload time. The charge
Lone
time's quite a
Syndicate
bit,
said
and it's
44
super
bullets
low.
the fuck.
Yeah,
So you're
that's
gonna be able
real.
to get one good shot off and maybe blow somebody up, but everybody's gonna know where
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
at.
not
And
stealthy.
So you're gonna have to use that to your advantage. One of the things that's really cool about
They seem
what
kinda
we're doing with
balanced.
weapons in general is, yeah, we've got our base weapons. Yes, we have unique weapons, but we also have the ability to mod all of these weapons in interesting ways. And so you can take a base weapon that might actually have more mod slots, so it has a little bit more flexibility with it, and find.
Ooh, okay, so that's fun. So like unique weapons are probably gonna have a unique gimmick associated with them, but they may not have as much mod ability to them because they're probably trying to stick within their lane. Whereas the other weapons you could basically heavily modify and make it exactly what you want, which could be cool.
A bunch of mods that could apply to it, or you could take a unique that essentially has one of those slots reserved with its own cool unique properties, but still layer on some amount of mods to make it your own. And you can make some really
Takes a quarter of the
interesting-
screen. Yeah, but I kind of want my uniques to feel that way. I want them to be like unapologetically unique looking. I want them to be like, I am different. Okay, look at me.
builds just by mixing and matching those. In the Outer Worlds 2, we've taken an approach where every weapon has a unique suite of mods that apply to that weapon only. And so the reason why we do that is to be able to key into key differences and things that make that weapon shine and feel really unique. And so we do things like we showed you the other day, where
quad barrel?
you can take, say, a base shotgun. We have a triple barrel shotgun. It's got 3 barrels that you can
Ooh.
load in shells and smash people with. But by default, you can't like it'll take you out of sprint, or you won't. It'll take you out of like sliding or mobile actions when you're firing it. It's powerful.
Oh, okay.
It's loud. It's big. But what you can do is you can apply like a slot off mod to it. That will do a number of different things. But one of the key elements is that it really increases the mobility of the weapon.
Got it.
Now that it's lighter weight, you can sprint with it and fire while you're sprinting. You can slide and fire while you're sliding. That can make some really...
It's funny because normally that's a perk that you always have to buy, which is like a run and gun where you can move, sprint, slide, and you all buy that. So but it's
fun,
attached to weapon archetypes now.
Gameplay where you like use that with TTD, so you're sliding through
I'm
some-
game with this system a lot. The issue I always have is that there's always like an end game version of that thing that's just so much better. So like if there is like if theoretically I can buy that shitty looking shotgun that's legendary or like, you know, max level whatever, and it will still be as good as like the other stuff, then that's great. But the idea is oftentimes that like the sawed-off shotgun, it can never be as good as like the automatic shotgun that you get later down the line that's more money and complicated and all that shit. Which is shitty, because then you lose out on like the viability of those other weapons, those weapons in the past. But if everything can theoretically have its own like space or area, then that's kind of cool.
Shooting somebody along the way, double jumping and mantling over something while you're shooting down on somebody, it just makes it feel vastly different than the base experience that also felt good. But these mods can really
fit your
change
playstyle. Makes sense.
Space of our
Love
weapons.
that.
Yeah, and we have these for both ranged and melee weapons. Melee players can apply.
Tell me melee.
Mod that when they take out someone
Melee is what I'm waiting for. Then we'll move on to the stuff.
So
React.
they can just immediately go on to the next person and take them out. Or if they have a big, heavy melee weapon, they can put on a mod that allows it so their power attacks shoot a shockwave and hit enemies behind them.
That's awesome.
So there's really
Let me see that.
ton of customization in both the weapons and armors and headgear, which also have their own mods.
Ooh, I wonder what the headgear is. That man
for stealth builds.
Good on them. The like again, guys. I always just again maybe this is why I like Obsidian so much, because they feel like I'm rooting for them as far because I feel like they're rooting for me a little bit. Where like I like that. I like the detail and the complexity in the weapon mods, and how like that's what I've been clamoring for forever. I don't care about how pretty the world is, although it's nice that it looks nice. But like I want more gameplay depth, more like things I can do, more reasons to do it, why to pursue it, all that kind of stuff.
At the beginning of the game, you're gonna find that the only
Lone
thing that's
Syndicate said
really
HHMMMIM, thinking to myself, should I build all into charisma again, or should I actually play the game and not talk my way out of every situation?
Yeah, I wish there was a way, Lone, to like do both. Like if you could like use your speech checks to get as much wealth or whatever, but then still get into combat just for like maybe like you say something super like gutsy or like powerful, which gets you into like combat, but also increases like your passive reputation or notoriety or honor or something like that, or legend status that could like be a thing that gives you discounts or like gets you favors from certain people, that kind of thing. That way there's still a reason to like, because that's what also your speech could do. Your speech could make you a legend and not just make you like a pacifist, you know?
or quiet is melee weapons. So you have blades and other various one-handed weapons that you can sneak up to enemies and take them out in one hit, and investing in skills further increases your ability to take people out. You can mod that further with, as mentioned, grips that grant camouflage and or increase the amount of power attack damage you deal from stealth.
Body found. Not even looking at her. Great.
And then you can also, if you want to be a stealthy range character, you can find various silencers that make your pistol silent, so you can use those to take people out from afar.
Yeah, you still need to be able to kill them.
Sniper rifles. We even have a silent shotgun as a unique in the game.
Wow.
That will instantly disintegrate anyone it kills. Last Whisper. So no one can find the body.
That's awesome.
We wanted to.
That can't be balanced.
For stealth players, some of the ways that we did that are adding things like distraction devices.
Okay.
So now you can manipulate patrols. We also.
I still like when you can just go full on invisible. You know what I mean?
Stuff where when you're in stealth, we give you a damage preview. So this shows you on.
Yeah, if you can get the kill, that's huge.
How much damage am I going to do with my stealth attack? This is really important for stealth players, especially in a role-playing experience, because you want to know, am I going to one-shot the enemy, or am I going to do a lot of damage but start combat, right? And that's super important. So we expose that to the player, and it modifies based off of the weapon that you have, the charge state of the weapon, if you're going to go in for like a power attack.
I mean, the contradiction with like, I'm sorry I keep pausing it so much, but like the idea that you could throw like I come over here, guys, sound device, and then just like do what he just did, which is like chuck a grenade, shoot it out of the air, fucking kill the whole lobby. Like,
we'll show you, okay, you're going to do increased damage while you're in power attack. Maybe you want to start combat with that. We have additional tools for stealth players like our N-Ray gadget, or N-Ray scanner, that allows you to see
through walls.
9 Fetus said, FYI, max LVL in Oblivion is 43.
Oh shit! And then you can't do anything. Okay, how much stats can you get like maxed out with that? Is that the like maxed out stats?
Lone Syndicate said the amount of time I would accidentally off someone and someone comes up to me and says you killed them, and me with my high charisma be like, no, I didn't, and the NPC just be like, you right.
I know, but look, that to me is like peak. Like that to me is like, that's again in Bethesda games you would never be able to really do that. maybe not in Bethesda games, but like in some of them, I don't think you can do that. There's got to be a reason why you dumped so much points into like this thing that's usually a coin flip. Like I miss also the days that it's a coin flip. You know what I mean? Like I don't like the idea that like if you have this much charisma, you can do it. You're always going to be convincing. I think like given how much charisma you have a higher percentage chance of doing it. So if you have like 80 per charisma, you have like an 80% chance to usually sink this, but there's still that 20% chance that you could just eat shit and die. You know?
Implemented, so you can actually see where enemies are and start gauging where patrols are, and start managing kind of your
show me melee
versus theirs.
You kind of showed me stealth melee,
which can be super helpful. And then let's see, we have like a number of kind of perks that you can perk into, in addition to like all of the weapons we've been talking about.
Okay.
There are weapons that deal more sneak attack damage, but we also have perks that'll key into that, where if you take somebody down, you might get a temporary movement bonus, where...
Okay, I'm about to say, it's hilarious that, like, my stealth weapon is a giant scythe. Okay.
You can use that to
Lone Syndicate said it was so fun I could also go melee this go around as well.
Yeah, again, the Outer Worlds I thought had a decent melee system, mostly just because it was really easy to get health. Whereas, like, I think you could, like, make it or something like that. I forgot what the reason was. But like to me, that's always been my frustration with these games, is that there's such a massive negative when you go melee. Like you are always taking so much damage because you're face taking hits as you're running at your enemy, and there's again the Outer Worlds did cool things like you could stun enemies with like your companions, so you could like close the distance, start bapping them in the head, stuff like that, 44 typo, the screenshot going up on Discord under... Oh, okay, gotcha. We'll check that out as soon as we're done watching this.
In interesting ways.
We're about done.
We have things like stealth grass, so that you can go into a space and be in soft cover where people can't see you unless you kind of start going loud or start killing people. But that's really helpful for planning out your path through a space.
I wonder, the only game I've ever seen do like stealth right is the Skyrim series, because they let you break the stealth element of it. Like they let you straight up like invest enough stealth to be completely invisible. Whereas just like it's like the shitty part is you have to invest so much time just to be able to get to that point. In other games, like if you have a max out stealth, you still can't, like it doesn't get easier to stealth. You just basically have like a little bit more wiggle room. But like I like the fact that Oblivion or Skyrim or whatever, which is like you're basically like completely immune to being detected. Like at least that's a goal to aspire to. Whereas like in a lot of these games, I think even in the Outer Worlds, where like you could never get to that point. You're also still people seeing you eventually. I always think that's kind of like, it just makes it so like, why invest all this time into getting this when it's not actually going to be worth it in the end, whereas I could just spend all my time into charisma, weapon damage or whatever and kind of be fine. Although most people just choose stealth because you got a high
Lone
10x
Syndicate
multiplier.
said also the fact that an enemy could be off somewhere in fucking Narnia and you could just look at them and have a companion teleport to them and do a special skill was epic.
Yeah, also you get it was one of the few games where like I don't think I got tired with the like animations of them just dropping hammers, because it would just like, at least with the hammer girl, it like you eventually unlock the ability to concuss people, so they just kind of flop on the ground and they're like, you're just constantly juggling the shit of them. You're like, I think it was one of those things where like every time you get a critical headshot or like a crit, you have a chance of like halving the cooldown, so you just get like a shotgun with like a fuck ton of pellets and just sit there and shoot them 10 times, reset the cooldown. If not, just the back and forth of like when you use one cooldown, it decreases the cooldown of the other. God, that game had such fun builds, especially the charisma build. The charisma build was so good because like it just made your fucking companions feel like a force of nature, like a fucking army,
Just like weapons, we have a number of unique armors and helmets.
I'm curious how these function.
I can't wait to go into in our IGN second.
Oh.
Well, Matt, we can't really say anything about an IGN second, but what I can promise is more on the Outer Worlds 2 in this month's IGN first.
What's that? What is it? What is? I don't watch IGN dominantly. What's an IGN second? Does that mean their second time around, or is that like their second channel or something? I don't know. Regardless, we'll watch.
We're back at it again for this.
We'll watch that probably another day. Hopefully, I don't lose track of it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4-ish videos. I think the other ones are like how Fallout New Vegas influenced the Outer Worlds.
Lone Syndicate said, "I have no idea, Grin."
You have no idea about what? Oh, what? But yeah, the first preview, you also probably should watch that one eventually. But yes, I'll give you guys a break on the Outer Worlds. Needless to say, the flaw system I think is awesome. I think it's them trying something new and kind of making your unique experience better. Hopefully, there's some flaws that are actually like good and like super worth it. Instead of being, I feel like they have a big flaw without being a very enough like a tantalizing enough gain to make you be like, oh, well, shit. Also, let me see what Nog was sending my way. Let's put on the nice music in the background again. That's good. All right, Nog put it in the gaming tab,
Syndicate said the DLC for Outer Worlds. I never played either.
Oh yeah, me neither. Yeah, it didn't give me a good enough reason to. But with how good the first game was, I probably I could have played it just for the gameplay sake of it all. But I agree. I didn't like. To me, if you're gonna make a DLC, you have to give me like. Honestly, the only thing that will like get me back into a DLC is like a amazing house or an amazing companion. Like honestly, it's usually a companion. Like if you want to get me into a thing, give me like a cool companion storyline to go through. Otherwise, it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna hear like some sort of subplot. I'm gonna help some people. Maybe get like a 1 or 2 armors or legendaries that probably are better than the base stuff. But is that worth me jumping back in when I haven't played for a couple months? Maybe eventually, maybe when I do play through 2, and then it just never happens. Whereas if you're like, there's a new companion, you give a really cool trailer that makes them really interesting, really fun. Hopefully they look awesome. You stack the deck, they look hot, they look cool, they look fucking awesome, whatever you want to go, angle. Yeah. But this is what Nog sent us. Oh, this was Nog showing me the arrows exist, and this is Nong's character. Are you wearing no clothes, Nog? Pervert. Anyway, sorry. What do you call it? 250 health, 44 is the max level?
Lone Syndicate said for me if you add new weapons and gear.
So you're almost able to get most stuff maxed out. Gotcha, yeah. I feel like, man, you need to max out everything magic related, because it's basically the end, I could have 100 persuasion just with magic. So like willpower and intelligence is like the only thing that I think matters in the game, really. And luck, because I think it increases every substat. But yes. I had to take them off to remove the gotcha. So not pervert. Disappointed. Anyways. Gang, where are we going? This. Boom. So this is the title, or what do you call it? The goddamn stream. Stop it. Alright. Before we get into the meme nonsense, I tried to wait for Kat, because Kat is one of the few people who adores this segment. Not sure, I think a lot of people like it. I just think Kat loves it. It's at a different level. But we'll watch it anyway, and then hopefully Kat will come back and watch the previous stream archive to see what's happening. But Kat, we miss you. Same with Fluff. Same with Red. Same with Bolty. Oh, my shoulder blade. I feel like if I missed someone, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I always hate when I do that, because then I feel like if I miss someone, that's gotta feel like shit. Fashion little outlaw, I swear by this character. This one? Gnong, your character looks good. Yeah, I would call it again. I feel like the female characters, you have a chance. Although I will say, I start to understand why every character makes a hideous, or every content creator makes a hideous being, because why even try when you know you're doomed for failure? Because that's what fucking people do, alright? Anyways, I'll be right back. Oh, my legs.
Lone Syndicate said now that you mention it, GRINN, this is an odd pair, mainly just me and Noring.
Raid is also here. Raid is also here. Let's not forget about Raid. Oh, my kneecap. I'm still here too. Yeah. No, I knew you. Yeah. When I said I knew, yeah. That's why I didn't mention you, Raid, because I know you're here. You, Gnawing, Lone. Whew. Alrighty. Oh, my body. Oh, never mind, Ray. Yeah, you didn't see Ray pop in? You said, how was my week? How was everyone's week, by the way? Before we get into the deep weeds of this, did anybody get into anything crazy? Let me think. Did I get into some crazy shit? I haven't played Oblivion since we last played. Not that I don't want to. I just kind of, every time I make a game a content game, I kind of am like, oh, I don't want to have something cool happen and not have it on camera, so I just don't play it. Even though it's not that I want to play it, I guess. I don't need to play it. Like, I'm not, like, frothing at the mouth. I'll wait for you guys. You know, I kind of have my weird, like, non-game games, like Withering Waves. It takes, like, 10 minutes to play, and I'm also kind of, like, doing too many other things. Besides just, like, make very good progress within the whole entrepreneurship stuff, I still was kind of in this weird cycle with it where I'm just trying to learn, like, what the best market to tap into, whilst fully knowing that the first market I choose is basically going to be a botch job anyway, because it's just going to be me learning things. But I still would like to think about, like, what's a potential group of people who I could potentially offer something to, that kind of thing. Weird in the weed stuff. This is why I don't like talking about it, because it just feels like I'm talking about nothing, you know. But yes. Outside of that, I watched some anime. I checked out, I started watching, I'm checking my anime off the list. I'm an anime fan again. I've always been, I just took a break for a long time. Kaiju number 9, I told you guys that. What is Australia or something like that? Sword and Wand, whatever that one is. I also watched The Wrong Way to Do Healing, but then I started watching a softer anime called Love After World Domination, I think is what it's called. It's basically like Power Ranger romance with like villains and shit. Kind of cute. I think Lone has watched. I remember Lone telling me about it, saying it was good. It's good. It's also a very like. It's also like a very, very rom-com-y in the sense that like nothing happens but cutesy moments that are wholesome and kind of like misdirects, which I like, but I kind of also want some sauce. I want some sort of a thing happening. Like, it'd be cool if like the main character went through like an episode arc where like you see why he's a bad bitch, you know what I mean? Something like that. Oh, my nose. But yes. So Lone says, I knew Raid was here. He ain't chat for a bit. I forgot, Raid. I didn't mean to forget you. I've been super indecisive on what to actually play recently. What you playing there? Well, let me see. Man, have you thought about getting back into Power World? Have you thought about playing VR? Nah, I mean, I was thinking about making Friday or Saturday stream a VR game. I might, but I probably won't. It's tiring, man, playing VR. That's why, like, I don't hate the idea of making VR like an actual screen, because like that way at least I could still love VR. I could still experience the cool parts of VR without having to fucking get up and like disco rave for 20 minutes and just like my body hurts. I'm fucking too old for this. Ow. But I still want the options. That's why. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. What other games are there to play? There's Oblivion you could try. There's, honestly, Raid, you could just fucking hold the line, play some Warframe in the meantime, because Doom Dark Ages is coming out Thursday, so you could just prep for that and maybe watch some anime in the meantime, maybe get like hungry to play video games, so you maybe you're getting sick of them, that kind of thing. Also, Nong says, it still is weird for no one else to be here with us. 9 out of 10 cats with us. What? Yeah, I know. Yeah. People always. This is something I'm always prepared my soul for. Is that I may one day hit live and it's just me, and I have to keep myself entertained for hours, for 2 hours, maybe an hour. I'd go an hour at the minimum, which I think I could do. But yes, life happens for everyone, so I'm waiting for that day to come. Lone has kept it at bay for an absurdly high amount of time, though. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is what y'all posted in the Discord. Let me see what it's all about.
4 more have been afflicted. That makes over 20 people in this city alone. It's almost the entire population. Periite himself must have designed this disease. The worm.
Lone Syndicate said, my week has been good, and I've been getting back into anime too. I finished You Are Ms. Servant and Season 2 of 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You. Wonderful.
It was wonderful? Yeah, I thought that's what I wanted. That one I think would be more fun, because at least there's something besides, like, the love and the after world domination anime, that one's just pretty kind of like, it's just happy, joyful, wholesome shit, you know what I mean? Whereas the 100 Girlfriend thing, I think, has plot, like has some sort of like, this chick's a psycho, this chick is a good person, this chick is goth, there's something else that's associated with every episode. Also been getting back into anime too. Oh, you man, let's go. Let's go. Also, what's this one called? You Are Mr. Servant. That sounds like a lot. That name just hurts to say. Anyways, let's run back a little bit, sorry.
Disease, the worm. Ugh, what happened to your face? Bees.
What?
Stendar, save us. We know nothing.
Just making fun of how
this
big their head is?
Many of the townsfolk have taken to calling it obliviomastitis.
What?
Really? That's what they're calling it.
What?
And you should hear the wails of pain.
You'll never take me down.
They may be self-flagellated.
Lone Syndicate said, I also been watching him living with Neat Kunoichi and Yandere Elf, also no longer allowed in another world.
Damn! I'm watching all of the anime at once.
Are a good and courageous man to keep working right now. We must stay vigilant against Periite's vile might. You're absolutely right. Oh no. Divines, have mercy.
I'll be honest, guys. This went right over my head. I didn't get none of this. I know it's probably reference on reference. I didn't get none of it. Crydle After Oblivion Remaster. I don't know what the fuck. Maybe I'm a fake fan. I don't know this much. I don't know lore this deep, brother. But let's check out this one. Some skooma-y stuff. Pause. Don't. Looks very similar to Cat's avatar. Actually, no, Cat's orange. Orange Cat gang is Cat. Oh, what? Okay, Lord, I gotta deconstruct what you said. You say, I've watched, I'm living with a Neat, okay, and Yandere Elf. What's the Yandere Elf one? Is that the one where, like, the main hero...
Gnawing Fetus said nor dry grin, and that's saying something.
Okay, good. I thought, I'm not, thank you for not making me alone. Yeah. Real quick, Nog, I gotta check with this weird Yandere Elf. Yandere Elf, that's the whole name. Elf anime. Elf anime? What is this? Okay, yeah, this is what I thought I heard about this one. Is this not a not anime? Or is it just like real close to itchy nonsense? Yeah. It's kind of shodo-y. I don't love that. But, yes, I did see the, what do you call it? This was like, man, as a person who's lived through the era that has kind of died a little bit, that essentially, what?
Lone Syndicate said no longer allowed in another world has an interesting concept where what if someone who wanted to die got a Sekai, but didn't want to get a Sekai has the best parts of dark humor.
Oh, I think is that the one? Yeah, I think it's where like he's like a loving wife or something. That one seems fun too. I think that's the one we're thinking like talking about. But yeah, what do you call it? The elf one. I don't know, man. Again, there's this thing that's always like awful within like anime. It's like a meme at this point, but it's like, what if I gave you a beautiful woman? Yeah. Oh, and she's perfectly voluptuous. All the meat in the right places. Hell yeah. Oh, and she's an elf. Oh, hell yeah. And also she's a dark elf. Yes. Also, there's this fat, disgusting, gross guy. And you're like, what? Why do it stop? Stop. What happened? Please, God, no. And it's the same shit with the damn Shoda nonsense. It's like cool, great, no, what? Please. Never mind. I'm leaving. Also, that's what I was saying. I was saying we lived through the era of like every channel like doing recaps of like manga that's like risque because it makes for easy thumbnail material, all that stuff. But holy shit, dude, there was that I've seen that anime. It's just everywhere. And I finally watched a couple of things of it. It's kind of a cute one. It doesn't seem as disgusting. Yeah. Also, I mean, I think I don't know. I think she's a dark elf, so he's probably 1,000,000 years old anyway, so he's basically like banging dust on how old he is. I don't know, man. God damn, Jesus. What is this? Skooma addiction. Oh, wait, I'm being a dickhead again. Usually people say something. Nope. It's just, yep, subtext. My eye. Oh, God. You ever scratch your eye and then you shove something in there? Oh, God. Is it an eyelash? Should I, like, shove an eyelash in there? Oh, fuck, I closed my eye and that made it worse.
Lone Syndicate said no, the Yandere Dark Elf is one of those anime shorts where the episodes are only like 13 minutes, but it's funny.
Okay, well that's not too, that's a short and sweet one then. I always don't love that. I'd rather them give me like the full thing. Also, there's not too many like good yandere anime type stuff in the sense that like it's fun and not
said
terrifying.
Kitty. Cat grinning cat face, cat grinning cat face.
Let's see what this is all about. Skooma addiction, Khajiit inhales skooma. Getting crunk. Is her eyes just gonna blast off? I remember the old world. Man, that's a beefy ass cat. Also, man, what is going on with cats and catnip? As a person who has been a proud dog owner for his entire life, and then has had a cat who was like a garage cat that we fed, took care of, and then just kind of killed all the mice on our property, which is nice. But we took care of all that stuff. That was my exposure to a cat, which was more of a dog than a cat. Even the people who came over who were cat people said, this is a weird cat, and I said, perfect. Anyways, what is with cat and catnip? What is that? Is that like a drug? Or is it just like a... what is the mental thing, the psychosis that they go through when that's happening? This music is a vibe, first of all.
Gnawing Fetus said catnip is weed for cats IMO.
Is that what it is? Because that feels like instant.
Lone Syndicate said catnip is basically weed.
Yeah, wow, oh my god, the same comment to a T. That's wild. What are the odds? I was going to say, to me, man... But it seems instant. Like, whenever I see shit, like, we don't hit you like that. Cats get one sniff, and they're like... Also, they're like, immediate... Like, man, you see this little cat with a little tiny paw just whap! And just start going... Do they eat it? Or is it like a scent thing? It almost feels like it's a scent thing. Because I feel like they also want to, like, wipe their body in it. The only thing I've ever seen that's similar to dogs... It sounds hard, but it's like horse shit. Dogs have like this weird instinct where like it must be like they don't smell things. Well, clearly if they're smelling just assholes all the time, but they don't smell things that we do. So like I don't know, man. It's a really weird dog thing where they're like, I just want to wipe myself in horse shit all day, and you're like, what? Also, please don't clip that. Please don't. Please God, I should know better. Anyways, all right, let's spread out the loving a little bit. Let's get some what Cat showed off here. What is this?
727.
Oh, we already watched this. Yeah, this is the good old Titanfall reference. Did we check out that one? I think we checked out that one too. This was Lone's linked up. Let's watch one of Lone's. In the fabled land of Instagram Reels.
Lone Syndicate said, Grin, it's that good shit where a cat only need one whiff of it to be on cloud 9.
Brother, I don't know any good shit that hits fucking milliseconds. Yeah, I mean, you go boom and then another galaxy like catnip seems to hit. But maybe I'm not privy to the right stuff. POV, guy gets mad at your mage build.
Toxic plume! Toxic plume! Toxic plume! Toxic plume! Toxic plume! Toxic plume!
Is he blind?
Plume! Meteor rain! Hailstorm shit all over!
I would just be like annoyed by someone screaming at me random gibberish with so much fervor. Well, it feels like he's saying something so intense. I don't think there was enough toxic bloom. This was very toxic. That's what he said. I don't think you can do this when you can only hold 3. Maybe a glitch. Could be some fuckery.
Lone Syndicate said, oh, make sure you read the text above this one and the another mage build reel.
Okay. Let's see. This was the first one, I think. I clicked here, right? Was this one just not showing up in the thing? Nope. This is a... Yes. Is this slap ass? I feel like this is slap ass. Slap ass. Slap ass. I don't feel like she's doing it authentically. She was looking at me the whole time. I'm about to say, eventually your ass is spanked raw at that point. You probably just like, this is not even an attraction thing anymore. This is just painful. Relax. Do you mind all Black Widow air purple? Honestly, I feel like the people who get it more is Invisible
Lone
Woman.
Syndicate said it's above it, not below it.
Oh, below, but okay, above. Gotcha. I feel like Invisible Women gets, freaked on for significantly more, but we'll see. Oh, shit. Fuck. Stop telling me to make an account. I hate Instagram. Ha! Where, is it this one or this one? These modern age mage builds are insane. Guy gets super mad. POV, this guy gets super mad at your mage build. It's fucking muted.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Magic missile! Lightning bolt! Magic
Definitely
missile!
feels...
Magic missile! Magic missile! Outplayed! I'm just better!
Fucking freak. Honestly, the fairest response I've ever heard in my life. This guy's gotta be breaking the game. There's no way you can get that many shot grenades and you just keep sending shit. It's funny, but also, isn't this guy bugging? Well, I guess he's probably, well, maybe it's harder to kill stuff with it. I still think that's a weak excuse. But regardless, Magic Bolt is wild. Man, this is the best. This would be the coolest thing. I would love to see a game that genuinely handles that. Of like, you have like a game that has a complex magic system and you have a complex gun system. And you're just like, you know what? Let's just smash these together and we'll make it up as we go along and tweak things as we go. But that'd be fucking badass. Like old ass wizards with canes fucking shit up and someone coming out with an AK just going to town and both are viable. Very, very cool. Fun meme. All right. Not gonna lie, I need an E. All right, this is the pervert thing we reacted to last time. Let's see what this is all about. Oh, dude, I miss pools so much. I haven't been to a pool in forever, man. Pools, oh, it's just the smell of chlorine, chemicals, an ungodly amount of water with piss in it, probably. But just, I don't know, something. I also think I'm just I love water to death. High dive, zero experience. Just fucking all belly, all back. I feel like belly would be much worse. Oh my
Lone
God.
Syndicate said working at my job has ruined any chance of me going to a public pool.
Why? Is it just fucking rampant? Elaborate, Lone. Oh no. Oh no. Is it like, dude, my grandma, bless her soul, she's still alive. I don't know why I said that. She's just great. I love her to death. She used to work at a motel essentially, and dude, the horror stories you hear about like how horrible human beings are, where she would go into a room to clean it and it was just like a full-on shit on a perfectly white bed, and you're just like, what? What? Who does that? What compels people just to be like, just take a shit in the middle? It is, my grandparents have done really well by like living a little bit underneath their means and saving so they can retire and all that stuff. They deserve every pleasure in life because of not only did they do the living underneath your means, but both my grandparents are immigrants into Canada that also worked their ass off. My grandma worked as a hotel
Lone Syndicate
service
said,
type
well,
person.
for starters, they only clean it once a year. It's open every day, never closed during any part of the year. Need I say more?
So I was wondering about that, Lone. Do they just dump chemicals? And is it like just such powerful amounts of bleach that they keep dumping? I think there was this thing like that scene on Grown Ups. You guys remember that, where like they had like a chemical in the thing that like when you pee it like makes black water? I think, well, first of all, that just wouldn't make sense optically. Like you just have blue water within like two instances. Like it would just not make sense. Maybe it's good for like disinfectants shit, because like you would see that, then you would add more chlorine and then maybe it would like wipe it out. I don't know. But yeah, it's like like some people are very like germaphobes, and maybe it's just I'm just like, you can't be, man. I can't be. I'm already tainted. You know how much I love pools, and I fucking grab water in my mouth and spit it out, and that's piss. It's basically like random straight. Oh, I wish it wasn't the way it was. Oh, hopefully chemical purges chlorine. It purges everything, guys. Oh, It's got to kill. It's got to kill everything, or else we're all fucked beyond compare, guys. God. All right, what's Bolty got for us? Let's see. This is on YouTube. Is it YouTube short?
Lone Syndicate said they dump chemicals in the pool, but even then you still need to clean it properly, and you can see after a while the dirt and grim of film on the very bottom of it.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's brutal. Yeah. That I feel like isn't that what the pool boy thing is? Is that you just take a brush and you like wipe away? Yeah, I wonder how you get the shit out of it though. I thought pool boy only really takes off the stuff with like the debris on top. I wonder if that would work though. Like if you scrub the bottom of it, it lifts up all the algae, the dirt at the bottom, the sediment, and then the chlorine would be able to kind of like take away that. Or if you have to like, 'cause that's kind of a shitty thing where you have to deplete all that water and then take away all the clean it, scrub it clean, and then pour up all that water again. Like that's quite the thing, you know? Raid says, I haven't been to the pool in ages. Yes, but when you were a kid, you can't tell me you didn't consume a high degree of pool water. Either spitting it in your friend's face because you're crazy or whatever.
Lone Syndicate said, Raid, I need you Grin. Can you show Raid the post about the plans, Raid? I need you to choose a plan.
Oh, golly. Okay, but just a fucking thing. This is a mega D-Gen post. So just yes. So these are the options. There's plan A. Loving high school girlfriend. Unfucking attainable ass. Plan B. Girlfriend's lonely mother. MILF gain. What is this little hat thing? Is that like a condom thing? I don't know. Anyways, then we have plan C. Jail time, but not jail time. Girlfriend, cute, and funny grandma. This is grandma. Don't talk about it. It's anime logic. We have plan D, bratty school, second cousin, big red flag, creepy gross. Plan E, second cousin, still kind of weird, but it's the mom. It's still ugh. Plan F, grandma again, but I don't know. He's left. Honestly, not a bad choice. Honestly, there was only one choice. It's plan G. She'll have back problems, but she's also working out, so she can maintain those back problems. Everything else is just nothing. There's only two right options. But then if it's girlfriend's mother, does that mean you're also like cheating on your girlfriend? That's also a red flag. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyways, Raid will have to tell us in spirit when he gets back. Ah, my body. Also, I apologize. I've stopped reading some of them if there was tags. There wasn't. I've been a good person. I have not fucked up badly. All right.
Is not an artist, but it's my job to make this mech walk.
Okay.
I can make an IK setup to put the feet where I want and write some code to make it move in a circle.
Cool.
Then add collision to stick the feet to the ground. It could be better.
Looks good. I think it's fine.
So I made a curve to change the feet height over the stride. Oh, for God's sake, that looks so stupid. So I made their feet move slower at slower speeds. Still dumb. It needs the feet to not be so high. So I made the feet not go so high. There we go. Now I was really happy.
I like the first one. This is the issue. This is the issue with like iteration. Like I'll make it better, and it's just like you're doing too much. The first rendition of him just walking normally.
With this. Then I showed it to the artist. Turns out there's a walk cycle where the hips need to go up and down, left and right, and rotate at the right times.
That's great.
So the artist set the variables for me. Here we go. And that's the job of an artist, to see what others miss and know what to do. Just like our awesome...
What? I'm about to say, man, that don't sound like the law. That sounds like not an artist. That sounds like an engineer almost.
Some Patreons who give us great ideas for the game. Do you have any feedback? Please let us know in the comments.
First of all, hats off to this guy. Second of all, yeah, I don't think the artist, that's not an artist. That's like a guy with a fucking physics background and math background to break down what everything should look like. Or you just, honestly, gang, I would just troubleshoot that shit and like, that looks right, that looks right, that looks right. Best I have. This is what you get. This is what you get. Very neat though. I always like seeing those in development type things. What is this? Oh, no couple is a perfect match. Me and her. Is that fucking Mewtwo? Is that Me. Dude, is that lizard? That's gotta be like Lizard Gang, some shit. Beginner, novice, intermediate, advanced, elite, world class. What? What is... So elite is the upper body, and then red is beginner? I don't know. I'm drawing too much parallels in this. I love that I just watched it, and within like the first 2 seconds, I was already like, it's fucking a Mewtwo thirst trap, whatever the hell you want to call it. Not a thirst trap. I don't know what you'd call it. Fucking freak shit. All right, let's watch this, and then we will go to the ode and see what everyone wants me to check out. Can you hold my dog real quick, bro? Is he shot putting? Yes. Fuck. Man, I was gonna say, side thing, this shot put shit to me, is that shot put? It's just insane. Like, how do you're like just in chaos. Also, there's a poor guy right there, man. Yeah, that level of like trust of like, it could go bad, it could go bad, it could go bad. Oh, we're okay. We're somehow okay. Also, what the fuck are these shoes? Are these like shoe slippers? What the fuck is that? It's not a sandal. What the fuck is that? I hate that. I don't know why that's awful to me visually. I don't know why it's very unpleasant. Anyways, back to the tops of the things we maybe missed. Oh, one of those. Guess what happens next? Ooh, my favorite. All right, play along, gang. Your friend who brought a knife to a gunfight.
Lone Syndicate said, "Grin, I saw the best video I've seen in a while. Can I send it real cute?"
Send it to me. But guess what we're gonna see next? Your friend who brought a knife to a gunfight.
How did it go, man? How do you think it went?
What happens next? He brought a knife to a gunfight. He throws the knife on the ground. The easiest answer is that he's been shot. What the fuck would it... Come on. It's the internet. What would it do? Oh, what would it be? I don't know. He can't throw the knife. Would it be cats? Would it be like some sort of weird thirst trap nonsense thing? He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. He's got a thing. His buddies are there. They have to be involved somehow. Did he I'm gonna say he drops a bunch of bullets with them cut in half, maybe? I don't know what they could really get after here, gang. Also, Raid has went to go get food. So yeah.
Huh?
Couldn't have been that bad.
Bro, they were all laughing at me the whole time. Dude! When I brought it out. You walked right in front of me. Bro, I wasn't walking in front of nothing. Watch the kill cam. You literally see it.
Lone Syndicate said sent.
Sent? Okay. This is just angry. This just makes me angry. And it's not a misdirection. You gotta misdirect me and elevate it, not fucking do a weird fucking Modern Warfare Boo. Alright. Oh, I know this. You don't think I have seen this, my guy. This is old but gold, baby. Yeah, a year ago. This is like the Uwu gun. I follow Airsoft fluctually a little bit. Yes, the solo. Yeah, what do you call it? What's the other guy? There's like a bunch of Airsoft people I watch quite a bit. But yes, this is the cursed Uwu gun. No, it might be the anime Moan gun. It's a different thing. I think Uwu gun is another thing he's succeeded in. But we'll watch a little bit of this. No, it's the Uwu gun. I'm right. Yep. Some cursed individual has made that gun for this man.
Top of a hill, 700 meters high. It features 90,000 square meters on 5 different levels of play, with the majority being...
The level of, it's crazy how many people actually take this so seriously. Also, I love it. It's very cool just to be like, this seems fun.
Underground.
If you got a fuck ton of money.
Tunnel network.
A lot of free time.
Weekend of 16th and 17th September, including the night. Reserve your tickets
Oh, this
now.
is the
Lone
ad.
Syndicate said it showed in recommend box a few days ago, and I wish Cat was here. He could relate to the guns at least.
Why? Why would Cat relate more than anybody else?
Sweat Airsoft, AKS 74U.
A secret you want to tell me, or bro, this thing was expensive. Ay ay ay.
You have to turn it on and then you have to press the button.
Brutal.
Thank you. You're welcome, man. Fuck's sake.
Honestly, well, let's get by this. Let's get by this.
This thing is as realistic as you can get it.
That's fine.
When you
That's fine. We're okay. I was gonna say, honestly, kind of dripped out. Like, besides the weird pervert stickers, the pink and blue combo is a cool toy gun vibe. When it's all steel and shit.
Open it up, it is frighteningly accurate to the real thing, except for that it literally moans when you insert a fresh magazine. And when you pull the trigger,
I can't. I could never. Man, people out here with man. This is like second hand. I could ever look.
The shoot is gonna go.
Lone Syndicate said, doesn't Cat own firearms?
Oh,
or am I
no,
thinking
that's
of
you're
someone
right.
else?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah. I was just wondering why I thought it was like a degenerate reference. Not like the Cat would know because he loves anime, whatever, like risque content. But no, the gun content aspect of it never crossed my mind because it's such a dominant as far as the ooh-woo-wee nonsense e-girl shit.
and wait till you hear what it sounds like when you flick
This
it
one
into
is
full
wild.
fun mode.
That one is.
Anyway, we're
that
at
one's
a brand
brutal. The one that's spread eagle, brutal.
new epic site that just opened up in the Ardennes Forest, literally where the Battle of the
Also,
Bulge
man,
was
I sorry, but like all of these things. Every time I see these like fucking airsoft videos, and also you can see like there's another like rabbit hole you could go down in the rabbit hole of YouTube where like you can see like houses that are abandoned, but they're like billionaire houses that are like beautiful. There's like hospitals that have like beautiful structures, still solid ass cement walls, and they're just like nothing can be done. That can't be repurposed as a house. And it's just like, what a waste, you know what I mean? And same thing with this, where I'm like, this seems like it could be salvaged, you know what I mean? This seems like an okay home.
fought 77 years ago. This place features endless
Like, all
corridors, bridges.
concrete, like beautiful location. You know what I mean? It's cool that it's fucking airsoft exclusive, but it could be like a house, that'd be a complex. Like, what the heck?
Passageways and countless angles to get shot from. A perfect place for this ridiculous thing to give your position away by moaning in the corridors. Play the Battle of the Bulge today.
Advertisement. Let's get it. You guys have never seen an airsoft video. You are in for a treat. Is it loud? Could be too loud. I was about to say, how do they not hear the woman? Maybe, honestly, could be a diversion. I'm not sure how many of these people who are out here, giving it their all in full-on military gear, who would not be like, hear a moan and be like, what's happening over there? Pervert instincts intensify, all that. The reload moan is wild. The reload moan is still one of the craziest things. Also, I forgot, I wasn't sure if it had that. It does. It has the reverb. It's so funny because this guy's fucking belting his ass off, just running, giving it his all, only for a pink ass gun and a bunch of oohs to come out of that.
Nice. Good shit.
I like how
Lone Syndicate said, imagine being in an intense gunfight and you just hear UWU and moans and you just drop your guard to be like, what the fuck?
Honestly, you better be mad if you got killed by that. But I was going to say, I just love how this unloads on these people, because if anyone goes down the rabbit hole of airsoft videos, they're very fun, by the way, to watch. It's cool POV stuff. The top video you'll find is cheater, this guy cheated. And I kind of get it, because in some capacity, you got adrenaline going through your body. There's also some just shitters out there. There's also people who are wearing armor, so it tings off the armor. It's still not good excuses, but it can kind of be understood why it's you gotta shoot person 2 or 3 times. I just love how this guy's peppering the shit out of them, and then this other guy comes out of nowhere and starts fucking unloading as well. You're like, guys, fuck off. I'm dead.
Good shit.
Also, what a great place to get cardio. Also, just the actual experience in a weird way. Probably not actual, but yeah. There's a bunch of videos that got popular as well about people who are actually trained in warfare or something like that, or cops doing this, and they're pretty fucking crazy good at it.
Lone Syndicate said, oh, the moaning anime girl gun to be unloading onto everyone.
Is this a futa situation? What, how? Why would she be? Has you got a gamer subs ever in a while, Lone? I haven't got any yet.
With the castle being under enemy control, we need to establish a safe circle so we sweep the surrounding forest to make sure we don't get ambushed from behind when we make our move to charge up the castle.
I feel like this is such a good structure, dog. I'm sorry. I know this is not the point of the video at all. I'm just looking at this whole location. I'm like, this is like fucking 7-inch thick walls, some shit. You can't make this a house? Like, I mean, anyway. I can't even, like, it must be some billionaire who just loves this. Like, I can totally see that being some weird thing where, like, some freak who has, like, a fuck ton of wealth. But, like, this is what I'm doing the rest of my life. I'm just running these.
Lone Syndicate said haven't brought gamer subs in a bit.
Haven't bought it. Me neither. I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm hoping they, like, kind of get the price down a little bit, to tell you the truth. Or, like, a sale. But we haven't got one in a while that's been, like, sizable, you know? It's also crazy that there's air. Like the smoke.
Second last.
Oh, I thought he was gonna go shoot that guy. Ooh. Yeah, see, shit like that's tough because, like, how does he know that that's not his friend? Yeah, like, damn. It's funny because you see, like, here with the fog of war, you watch these videos and you're like, I don't know how. I don't know how you're not killing your own people. Stop it. Shh. Why did it moan? Does it moan every now and again, or is it only when you shoot? Or when you reload? He wants to tap the reload button. I like how it still hits him every now and again, like brutal. Oh, it just moans occasionally. I see. Who would have thought uwus just immediately make... I can't even say it was true. Orgasms lady. Honestly, with how some of these e-girls be like streaming and shit, you would think. Anyways. Also, I'm sorry, just because of content creator brain, I love the fucking clearly PNG, not actually a part of the video.
Lone Syndicate said, I need this guy to make a MILF version of this gun, and instead of UWU it says ara ara, and it moans when he hits the butt of the gun or reloads.
Well, I was gonna say, I thought there was one, yeah, like he has a series that's been popping recently that, well, first of all, these views are insane. You see, like, fucking 16 mil. Oh my god, my favorite weapon ever. Boom, right there. What is it called? I thought it was, yeah, so he has this one. I thought he has another one. I just thought we'd see it by going to most popular, but he does have another one that I thought was pretty crazy. That wasn't like, actually, no, maybe that was it. Yeah, I thought he had one that was older, though, that was, like, similar. Like an anime reference, silly nonsense thing. I think. Maybe not. But yeah, I thought he had two other, like, versions of it. Yeah, right. No, isn't it? Why is this here? Maybe that was the first. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, I thought there was another thing here. Probably not. I'm crazy. Anyways, also weird that he's playing a video game right now with this weird Arma. 10 years ago, he started off as an Arma channel. Anyways, yeah, very fun video, very cool video. You should check it out if you want. You just type in literally anime, uwu, gun, airsoft, and you'll find it. Or just subscribe to this guy's channel. Honestly, very cool content that comes out. A lot of it's kind of fucky, brutal craziness. Guy gets shot in the face. Guy starts cheats, doesn't get shot. A lot of this content, though, which a lot of the airsoft stuff is sniping people in the head kind of shit, which is very cool, very fun. All that. Yes. Let's jump up here again. But Lone, thank you for sharing that with me. That is a holy grail of YouTube media that has been there for a while and is quite good. Good stuff. Who doesn't want to have a gun that screams pejorative stuff at you or lewd nonsense? You know? My body. Oh, my back. Everything hurts. Devour a couple to fully restore your HP and mana. The thirst. Oh, is this the vampire game? And hunger undead is insatiable.
Чем занимаетесь?
Как ты дверь открыл? Ой.
No, that's CSGO. Or that's CS, Gmod, sorry. That's Gmod. Does anyone know what the hell happened to the game I was referring to, Vampire the Masquerade? We were supposed to get, like, a full-on game, then they made a VR game that was actually pretty good, apparently, and just a lot of weird shit in between. Yeah. Odd. Just odd. What is this? Lighter clicks. What the fuck? What is this? Is that rape? I don't. No, it's not. She also had wild cheekbones. I would be out of there, man.
No, I'm just messing with you.
I was like, okay.
That's brutal. I feel like that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, man. I wonder if it's also like yeah. If it's like a mind game, like it's actually much more far forward for us than it is for her, because she looks like she's reacting here, maybe. I don't know. I just feel like this seems like a fucking person, a celebrity of a kind. I'd be like, you just blew up shit right beside me without telling me? I'm sorry I'd be so uncool. I'd be an uncool guy about it. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Lone Syndicate said, I need some game developer out there to one day make a legendary unique gun, and base of that gun in the video, it just moans and make UWU noise, but its stats are just insane.
I feel like it's gotta be, I feel like it could be possible, but you'd have to have I feel like the, what is it called? The rating system would just butcher it. But I also, you know what I always think about from time to time, Lone? I'm not sure if you've ever seen it, but there was like a Call of Duty, not Call of Duty's Battlefield, actually. It was like Battlefield had like these really unique hidden developer reloads that were hidden, I think, in the beta. But the idea was like you'd reload, you'd randomly get like a unique reload. It was really fun. Like you'd be having like a pistol, and your character would like look at his hand, look at his gun, and then like a third fucking like weird hand would come up, dingle like the magazine, and you'd grab it from him, put it in, and then you would look behind you and it would be no one there. Or there'd be some weird thing where like you take a revolver, spin it, throw all the bullets in the air, catch it back in the gun, slap it shut, and go in. Like, so to me, I think that would be also sick, is if there was some sort of like, when you maybe reach like 10 out of 10 of like gun nut or like small arms or something like that you get like these weird things, or like even like spectral help or some shit, like just really unique reloads. It'd be awesome. Or something crazy where like the longer you hold down the reload, the more things go. Oh, yeah, you remember Raid? Let's go. yeah. I feel like it would be so cool if that was like an actual build where like it could like, maybe like it would extend the reload time that you have. Yeah, I feel like the only way you could do it is if you like you hold down the reload for a little while, and it gives you like a longer reload, which is more unique, but then it gives you like more damage or something like that. But then that kind of value, like, okay, maybe if you want to quickly reload, you can get some damage up faster, but not as much in this if you're willing to sacrifice the slow reload. Anyways,
It would be great
what is this? Her reaction.
if you could speak English, but I know you can't, so.
Oh, for real? Oh, for real? What up, dog? What up, dog? What up, dog?
That's awesome, man. I remember someone describing, like, I can understand it because it was like Japan version of this, but basically there's like a way of speaking that like this Japanese guy who lived there, but he lived with like certain people who have like a
Lone
phonetic.
Syndicate said, I remember those as well. My favorite is the reload of a double-barreled hot gun, but the shell's case are just long as hell.
Just really long, thunk, blows up the entire barrel. But I was gonna say, it's crazy how like you don't realize that like a person could be speaking Japanese because you don't even realize the like dialogue like at all, what they're saying, but they may have like the hardest accent, weird way of speaking phonetically, like nonsense, you know? Like as if you met someone who is like an English speaker who's speaking like thug, gangstery nonsense, weird shit. It's same premise, but you're both speaking English, but it's just such vastly different, kind of like Southern accents versus like English accents being such a polarizing difference, you know?
You from the States? You from the States? God damn!
She regretted it immediately, which she shouldn't, because it sounds great. Ooh, I actually want to see this one. This is some good old, what is it called? VTuber, boy-tuber, man-tuber. This is the orc guy that I quite enjoy I talked to you guys about this ad nauseum, I'm so sorry. But the idea of like, if you're going to make a VTuber avatar. Also, Lone, how is that, by the way? I want to ask you that for a whole week going now. How's the progression with the VTuber realizing how to rig and stuff like that going? Did I make it headway, or has it kind of been like, taking a back seat, which is fair, because life happens. What does it say? Randon the Orc, and a handful of brief insight about VTuber space, especially regarding the corporate sphere. The corporate sphere seems very shite. The corporate sphere feels very not... I keep getting bad vibes from it, unless you're like, you have no experience. I don't know. It seems rough.
Game permissions, man. What a cluster. Am I right?
What is this?
It's tough. I think a lot of people need to realize that companies are really risk averse. They don't want to take any risks at all when it comes to, the thing that makes them money. And, there's precedent. I don't know if you guys know this or not. You don't remember the old lore, but there is precedent for, a company that without any prior warning or negotiation.
Lone Syndicate said, I'm on hour 10 of Macon G the model, and Grin, I would like to say I am finally almost done with the head.
Oh, I mean, that's pretty good. That's hype, man. Do you mean like done in the sense that you can like turn your head and have like I'm not sure really what to even imagine, like what it even entails in like making the art and then also rigging it, But I was gonna say, it's also crazy how I like how his mouth's moving in like the right way with his giant teeth being a factor.
Do 3 content strikes on a YouTube channel and just freaking nuke it. It's gone. A content strike is way worse than a content ID, right? A content strike, you get 3 of those on a YouTube channel. I don't know how many of you guys are YouTubers out there, but 3 content strikes and your channel is deleted. Yep. And you have to start all over again. So I can kind of understand why they're scared of that, I think most companies in good faith know that it's good for somebody to play your game, get it out there, and then gather interest, especially like if you have a captive audience. A lot of people will try it
out. It's so much so to the point where like I honestly think that YouTube almost is at a point where it's like I haven't seen the company being able to actually like DMCA your video game content, because I think it's just such a broad brush, and it would create a precedent that they get sued by in a big way, where like if you have let this game and these things persist on this platform for, let's say, 2 years or whatever, and then you now have a problem with it, and now we can tell you have a problem with it because this person said something not so good about your video game, then why weren't you acting in accordance to this copyright issue with all these other things? So I think it's just such a weird thing where like most companies don't even want to open up that bag of worms. So either like from the very beginning you're like Nintendo and say you don't want this. But I've literally not heard in such a long time about anything like there's a thing where like that exists where like your video can be blocked, which is honestly like the best thing that they could do in that instance.
Lone Syndicate said that's just drawing and doing the art for it. I will say as I get to the body and appendages will take less time because they don't have no many complex and moving parts.
Oh, okay, yeah. Also, it's probably like, well, I guess it depends on what you're after, but yeah, it could be less detail, all that stuff too. Well, first of all, I'm so excited for that about that, but I don't forget what I was just trying to say. I forgot what I was about to say. Sorry, guys. I was about this whole topic. I haven't seen very many people who have ever encountered that like type of thing where they've gotten striked because of it. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. On YouTube, you can either like give someone a strike and like say you're stealing my IP, you're messed up in that. But most companies, if they even do just want to silence you, which is totally reasonable, or not reasonable, but it's something they can do. All they need to do is just say that like, oh, all of your video cannot be viewed in any country I specify, which is honestly kind of better than fucking getting a strike. So they're basically just completely silence you and silence any video that you have on your channel being able to be made, so that it can't go out to anybody. Which is kind of like if you wanted to limit someone's bad opinion, or not bad opinion, but like unfavorable opinion for your stuff, then you could do it, and that way. I think from the content creator's perspective, I don't think the content creator would be as mad. I think the content creator would be like, okay, you're fucked up. But I don't think they'd be like vengeful. Whereas if you give a content creator a strike, I think they'll go on YouTube. I think they'll make videos about it. I think they'll just try to destroy you. Like you'll just get so much bad PR. And something that usually takes off. Like any bad PR of like someone silencing a creator for a negative opinion usually just blows up on Reddit or some shit like that. So
gains from a situation like that, it would take a really incomprehensible, and there are companies that do that, and I think they should just be avoided at all costs as a streamer. Just don't bother with their stuff. Fine, they can sit in a vacuum for all we care, right? Just avoid them and then act in good faith. Just play a game, treat it with respect, and everybody wins. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize though, it can be seen as bad etiquette if you see permissions for a new game and then you jump on it and you play it, and the person that is responsible for getting those permissions, they requested it, they worked on it, they really should be the first person to play that game. I think it's kind of scummy to jump the gun and just be like, oh, I see that, because the list does update, and then they play it, and you know, adds some bad blood.
Is he referring? I'm not really understanding what he's saying here. Some people are. I don't know. I feel like some people are good. Maybe it's annoying, but some people give like a good bit of like context to what they're talking about, and then other people try to. They talk again. Everyone's fault is this. Like I have the same thing where like I'll talk as if you guys are aware of all the things that I'm talking about, whereas I'm like too deep in my head to not explain everything what's going on. But I'm wondering if he's meaning.
Lone Syndicate said, BRB off to go shower.
We probably wind it down, Lone, so if I can't see you, then enjoy the rest of your day, buddy. Not wind it down, but we might probably watch one or two more. But I was going to say, for him, this is an interesting topic. I quite like this kind of stuff, because it's just YouTube stuff, which I've experienced for like so many years. But I was going to say, God, let's be trying that again. This YouTube, I was saying something about him being, how like certain content can be made, that certain stuff is mitigated. It was at the last comment that he made. What did he say?
Money and play that game. I think it's kind of scummy.
Oh, that's what he's saying. So I think it's like you get permission for a game. So like someone will reach out and ask like, hey, do I have permission to play this game? And then a person won't ask permission and then won't
Lone
get hit.
Syndicate said, oh, in that case, wonderful stream Grin. Enjoyed talking to Yasi. Everyone
yeah,
tomorrow.
Hopefully I can see it more alone. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's weird, man. Like this is kind of like a really, it's like a bad guy conversation. But like, if everybody is using a cheat or an exploitation, and nothing has changed for like, let's say a prolonged amount of time, at what point does that just become, unfortunately, the cost of doing business? Like the cost of being able to even be remotely competitive. So like the idea being like, even if it's just something like steroids in athletics, where like if no one, like everyone's on fucking something and no one has gotten like they're not like harking down on the risk of it, anything like that, you almost have to participate in that aspect to even do anything like that, you know? It's the same thing as like if everyone, like, yes, it'd be great if you could like create a business that like outsources stuff, like products and services in the country that you're in, but the reality is that if you're just starting in a business, you need as much capital as possible. So it kind of helps going to countries that have a lower cost per unit of whatever thing you're trying to sell. Now, yes, it'd be nice if eventually when you got success, you said, hey, I'm willing to take a loss and actually support. But it's weird because then you're like the people that help build shit with you, you're not taking care of that. That's where shit gets complicated. In the same way that like, is it better to like...
Raidnade said, all right.
Yeah.
I might head out for tonight. See you tomorrow. Grin, have a good rest of your night,
yeah,
my
you
friend.
too, Raid. Hope I can see you tomorrow, buddy. Probably winding down right now. I just wanted to finish off that train of thought of like, I think in the YouTube space, like especially with this topic, I get the why. Like, actually, I don't even get why most companies are, because it's kind of like a mutually assured destruction at this point, where like so many people, we've kind of just all accepted that like games are like widely up for grabs in a lot of ways as far as like showing off content of it. And I think there's a better argument for it because there's just such a vast amount of like game usually, like, yeah. And it's funny because like on YouTube, we started out at the highest possible thresholds with like Let's Plays and playthroughs being the thing that people made content of. Like that was where the first gaming stuff happened on YouTube, was Let's Plays and playthroughs usually. That and Call of Duty montages and shit like that. But the idea is like we started off showing the first sales pitch was, let me show all of the thing that you're selling. And yeah, and then people realized, oh, this just makes people want to play, because what are the odds someone's going to watch the entire thing? And if they are, that means they probably don't have the ability to buy it anyway. So them seeing it and then taking it as much as possible will have a high probability to play the next game or buy it when they have money. Anyways, but yeah, all those variables I think play a fun part in this weird web of chaos that is the YouTube gaming scene and how it's evolved over the course. But it's interesting insight from that. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, that was us reacting. This is a pretty fucking stacked thing, man. We reacted to good old GTA trailer. Got some thoughts out about that. Loved hearing about what you guys think about it as well. Got some Doom hype going. Mafia weirdness. A good bit of Outer Worlds. A giant sprinkling of Withering Waves. Not giant. A good bit of sprinkling of Withering Waves to characters. As well as fun react times. Love you guys sharing stuff with me. Let me pin where we currently were. Pin. I do think we'll run out of pins eventually, but I don't think we're there yet. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I can see you tomorrow where we'll be trying to conquer the Dark Brotherhood-ish. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get it. Hopefully we get Shadow Mirror even somewhat close before next stream. Anyways, I love you bits. Hopefully I can see you guys again. Also, there will probably be a video either tomorrow or the day after that, depending on how fast I can make a thumbnail. But I do have a video cooked for you if you're into VR and you're into Bone Lab and you want to see some cool avatar things. And yes, love you bits. Hope I can see you again. And goodbye, everybody. Take care. Peace now.